tumors in his upper back area. Had to fuse 2 bones together in his neck. Let's look at the scouting report. He's got to keep the ball down. He knows it. He throws a slider almost any time for a strike, and he's got to be able to control those emotions out there today, Tommy. He's going up against a guy that's going for his 300th victory. And let's check out that slider and bring in Scooter to tell us about it.
What's up? Scooter here. A slider looks just like a fence ball, but at the last second slides away. Pretty tricky, huh? Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. You are out!
You know, if Scooter would grow his hair a little longer, he'd look a little bit like Steve Lyon.
Yeah. Sounds like me, too.
Corey Patterson to lead things off, just moved into that leadoff spot earlier in the week by Dusty Baker, who made comparisons between Patterson and Lou Brock, of all people. Strike 1 on the first pitch in the big leagues from Hennessey, and we are underway. Hennessey, 24 years young, hails from Toledo, Ohio. So the native Buckeye delivers 0-1, rolled foul, and it's 0-2. Patterson, a .272 batter, good power, 12 home runs, good speed, 17 home runs. Thus, the comparison, as I mentioned, made by Dusty Baker between Patterson and the Hall of Famer Lou Brock.
Well, Baker loves this guy, and he said you got to give him a chance to prove himself at the major league level. Everybody wanted a little bit too much out of Patterson when he first came up. He does strike out way too much to be a leadoff hitter. 103 strikeouts already this season.
0-2 delivery, and it sails high and away. A ball and 2 strikes on Patterson.
No comparison to Lou Brock in that area.
No. Bouncing ball slowly hit to JT Snow. He'll feed Hennessey at the bag, and in time, 1 away. Take a look at the Giants defensively. They rank 9th in fielding percentage among 16 clubs in the National League, led by JT Snow over at first. Ray Durham, Deivi Cruz, Edgardo Alfonzo in the infield. Grissom in center, flanked by Barry Bonds and Ricky Ledee, who came over from the Phillies at the trade deadline. The battery of A.J. Pierzynski and Brad Hennessey. As if on cue, speaking of the trade deadline, perhaps the biggest deal made last Saturday, Nomar Garciaparra. After spending his entire career in Boston, 2-time American League batting champion, dealt away under intrigue and controversy from Boston to the Cubs. Our broadcast also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. 2-1 to Garciaparra, 7 hits and 22 at bats, including a game winner a couple of days ago in Colorado. Line by a diving Deivi Cruz into left field. Garciaparra, the game's first base runner, with a 1-out single here in the opening inning.
We've seen Garciaparra do a lot of this since he's been with the Cubs, out on his front foot a little bit on that slider, pulling the ball to left field because he gets out in front, just drops the bat head on it and drives it past Cruz at short.
Garciaparra playing with a tender Achilles tendon on the heel area. Only 1 stolen base attempt since coming over. He was successful, and now it's Moises Alou. .275 hitter, 25 home runs, 64 runs batted in. Of course, Moises playing against his father here today, the skipper of the San Francisco Giants, Felipe Alou.
You think he knows him?
I would certainly hope so.
I think he calls him about a week before he shows up and says, hey, how you swinging the bat these days? What's your weakness?
1-0 the count on Alou. Garciaparra at first. 1 out, just underway here from San Francisco. Too low, 2 balls and no strikes.
Good shot of Felipe there, and you know, Moises has fared pretty well against his father, and all the teams that he's managed has been right out of 300 hitter anytime he's playing against his dad.
And of course, most importantly of all, Moises' teams have won far more than they have lost against Felipe. That one ripped foul. Talk about family law. There you see the numbers, and now 41 games Moises has played in games against his father. At .301 batting average, 34 batted in the 41 games, and a 25-16 record.
They keep trying to throw a fastball on the inner half of the plate to Moises Alou. That win-loss record is going to go up considerably in the favor of the Cubs.
In the air down the left field line. Bonds giving chase and has room in foul ground for the second out of the inning, and Garciaparra back to first base. Well, here comes Sammy Sosa. 269 batter, 25 home runs, 64 batted in. There have been a lot of whispers around Chicago that Sosa, since coming back off the disabled list, coupled with getting hit in the head by Solomon Torres, has moved so far away from the plate that maybe he's a little gun shy up there right now, Steve.
I don't know if he's gun shy, but he is a mile off the plate. And I think what Hennessey's going to try to do to Sammy is show him hard in and then use that slider and go away, away, away from Sammy, because I don't think anyone right now thinks Sammy can hit a slider on the outer half of the plate because he's so far away from it.
Tell you what, he appears to be a little bit closer to it today than when we saw him, Steve, a couple of weeks ago in Philadelphia. I mean, that right foot was almost at the outside edge of the batter's box. Doesn't look as far, you think?
A little bit, and he's closed down a little bit more than when we saw him as well.
Sosa, a tough night here last night. And there's that pitch down and away that he can't get.
When Sammy became a dominating hitter in the game is when he learned how to go the other way. What we've seen over the last couple of weeks from Sammy Sosa is that he's standing further off the plate and trying to pull balls a lot more. Trying to pull the pitch away from him. You can't do it. And he can't even reach it, as we just saw on that last pitch.
Setting up away again is A.J. Pierzynski, the catcher. And just off the outside corner with a fastball.
Now, having said all that, as you look at Hennessey looking pretty calm facing one of the most dominating hitters in the game, but don't make a mistake out over the plate.
Down and away from him, swung and missed, and out of left the inning. One hit, one left. Good start for Hennessey. Now Greg Maddux in search of win 300.
Cingular is having a huge back-to-school sale on camera phones. We're all getting Motorola's with Bluetooth technology.
The Samsung with Zoom.
Wait, I thought we agreed on the LG. It downloads games.
It's a Zoom.
You know what, guys? We don't always have to do everything alike.
Celebrate back to school with up to $150 off a super wide selection of the coolest new camera phones available.
We call it our Now You Can Tell Us Apart plan.
Great savings on camera phones. Another reason Cingular fits you best.
If you want it, you can have it. There's only one rule. If it feels good, do it. I'm Dr. Angus. Way to go! The Angus diet isn't about losing anything. It's about finding joy, finding pleasure. Yeah. It's the newest diet out there. I know, I just invented it. You have the right to a burger made with 100% Angus beef. Yes! Respect the Angus. Respect the king.
To cure athlete's foot, you've got to be fast on your feet. And nothing lets you treat faster than Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Not even a prescription can beat that. If you use Tinactin or Lotrimin AF, you'll be treating for 4 long weeks. Who's going to do that? When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week is proven to kill the fungus and keep you athlete's foot free for 3 months. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
Major League Baseball on Fox is brought to you by Cingular, the wireless company that fits you best, and by Thank You from Citi, a new kind of rewards program from a card you can count on. Giants coming to bat, bottom half of the first inning against Greg Maddux. Felipe Alou starting lineup brought to you by Citibank. Ray Durham at second, Ricky Ledee in right, JT Snow at first, Barry Bonds in left field, Edgardo Alfonzo at third, A.J. Pierzynski catching. Marquis Grissom in center field, Deivi Cruz a shortstop, and Brad Hennessey on the mound. 299 wins in the Hall of Fame career of Greg Maddux. 4 consecutive Cy Young Awards. His first came with the Cubs in his last season as a Cub, then won 3 in a row thereafter in Atlanta. Came back to the Cubs this season. In his career, he has struggled most frequently in the first inning. It's strike one to Ray Durham. And it's interesting to note the Giants have scored more first inning runs than in any other inning during their season this year.
And Ray Durham with 6 leadoff homers this year.
80 runs this season in the opening inning for the Giants. And Maddux in his career has allowed 286 runs in the first, the most of any inning. 2 balls and a strike, and that held true last week when Maddux went for win number 300 the first time against Philadelphia. He gave up a couple of home runs in the opening inning. In the air, right field by Durham. Drifting back is Sosa. Not going to get it off the wall. This may be 3. Durham making a turn, coming to third. He's in there with a triple.
Ray Durham has the kind of power that could be a number 3 or maybe a number 5 hitter. Felipe Alou has messed around with the idea of that, but his speed at the top of the order is something that he relishes and wants to have him at the top of that order. Look at the swing. That ball out over the middle of the plate. Durham thought he had a chance, and then off the bricks out there, he says this is going to be an easy triple with the kind of speed that Durham has.
Sixth 3-base hit of the season for Ray Durham, and now Ricky Ledee getting the start today in right field. The Cubs infield conceding the run unless it's hit right to the third baseman Aramis Ramirez. You see him there, a step on the grass at third. Everybody else will give away the run and take the out.
A glaring contrast in these 2 ball clubs, Tom. The Giants get the hits or do the fundamental things to get runners in when they have them on base. The Cubs have done a poor job of that throughout the entire season, of moving runners over and getting them in when they have to.
Those were the numbers we mentioned a moment ago before the leadoff triple by Durham, who stands at third with nobody out. Rolled foul by Ledee, 2-1. Told you Maddux trying to become the 22nd pitcher in Major League history to record 300 wins. He would be the first National League pitcher to accomplish the feat since Steve Carlton 21 years ago. 2-2 on Ledee. He would be the second Cub to reach the milestone, as Grove old Pete Alexander also did so in his last win of the 1924 season. Coincidentally, it came against the Giants.
Tommy, I think the very real possibility exists that we will never see another 300-game winner. Possibly Tommy Glavine, his former teammate, who needs 41 more victories. Glavine is the type of guy that will pitch until his arm falls off to get the 300.
Fouled away. Still 3-2 on Ledee.
Check out the scouting report on Greg Maddux. Throws strikes early in the count. That's why he conserves his arm, doesn't have to throw many pitches. He's the master of control. We all know that. He works both sides of the plate as good as anybody. And the changeup is the equalizer. And when you watch that Fox box and you see the 83 miles an hour, that's his fastball. That's the change.
And gone swinging is Ledee for the first out of the inning.
Watch the movement of the changeup. Down and away from the left-handed hitter. So difficult to pick up. The hand motion. Circle change, letting it roll off the outer fingers, the pinky fingers, as you pronate the arm and get the ball to spin the other direction.
Tall challenge now for Maddux. It's JT Snow. One of the hottest hitters in all of baseball since coming off the DL. June the 25th. He's hit 365, and he looks at strike one.
He was talking yesterday and said, you know, nobody ever really talks about you when you're in the lineup every day, and then when you're not in the lineup, as he has been in and out, he says they only talk about you when you're not playing if you're hitting well. He said that's the way it's been right now, and I still haven't been able to get in that lineup consistently.
Fastball in, 1-1. Barry Bonds waiting in the on-deck circle. Runner at third, one out here in the bottom of the first inning. On the outside corner, and Snow having words with Ted Barrett last night. JT continued his hot hitting. Homered off Matt Clement. Came in the fifth.
Boy, that looked like the playoff home run he hit a few years ago against the New York Mets. Of course, they went on to lose that ball game, but that was a huge home run, and he ran down the baseline exactly the same way.
There's that cut fastball that Maddux starts at, a left-handed hitter. It looks as though it's going to hit the left-handed hitter and then moves back over the inside part of the plate. It is a devastating pitch. It's a beautiful pitch to watch on television. Bottom fell out of that pitch. Gone swinging. Or are they saying foul tip? He foul tipped it.
Maddux certainly, over the history of the game, is not the only guy to try that pitch. Here's a changeup that JT Snow just gets a piece of. But certainly, over the last 19 seasons, Maddux has been the best at that comeback fastball that you were talking about. Throw it in off the belt buckle of a left-handed hitter, watch it tail back and nip the inside part of the plate. It freezes left-handers. They can't pull the trigger on it.
Big pitch here from Maddux. Runner at third, one out in the inning, and the 2-2 coming to JT Snow. Full count. Barry Bonds has hit more career home runs against Greg Maddux than any other batter the right-hander has faced in his career. Barry waiting in the on-deck circle. Payoff pitch to Snow is ball 4. Bonds may get a chance to swing the bat. Let's go all the way back to June 20th of 1987. Bonds with the Pirates. Maddux his first go round with a Cub. And here's Harry Carey.
The Cub. There's a pitch swung on a long drive. Left center field way back near the fence. Jerry leaps high in the air and it's gone. A home run into the back.
I don't want to start any rumors here, Tom, but did you see how skinny Greg Maddux was there? You kidding me?
So what are you saying?
I'm not saying anything. He was thin way back then.
Well, the amazing Barry Bonds with 2 on and 1 out here in the opening inning. In the air, straightaway center field. It'll stay in the park, but bring a run in. Patterson shy of the track. Tagging and scoring, Ray Durham. Give Bonds his 67th run batted in. Giants lead 1-0.
It's what we talked about a moment ago, the fundamental baseball that the Giants play. If they get a guy on base, they find a way to get him in. They get the clutch hits. They get the clutch sacrifice flies. As you watch Bonds, as that ball tails away from him, gets it out off the end of the bat a little bit, but does the job and gets the run home.
So Maddux surrendering a run here in the opening inning, and the Giants as if on cue. He scored more runs in the opening inning than any other inning this season, and an early 1-0 lead. We'll look at Maddux in his career, the ERA in the first, then all the other innings this season. An earned run average in the first inning of over 6, and thereafter under 3.5. It's an old adage in baseball, if you're going to get the great ones, you better get them early. 1-0 the count on Edgardo Alfonzo. Low and away, but called a strike on the outside corner. We talk about it all the time. The pitcher's mound is the only place in professional sports where a person that is going to work on the field or on the court in any other game, the pitcher never gets the chance to go out at that exact position on the field and get warmed up for a game, to prepare for a game. The shortstops, they take ground balls. In basketball, they'll shoot at both ends of the courts. Tennis, golf, you'll have practice rounds. A pitcher warms up in the bullpen and gets maybe 8 throws from the pitching mound.
And pitchers will tell you that those mounds vary from ballpark to ballpark without question.
1-2. And now the count even on Edgardo Alfonzo. Incidentally, this season, when Greg Maddux has allowed at least a run in the first inning, his record is 1-5 in those starts. Still 2-2.
Got away with a mistake right there. That ball out over the plate for Alfonzo. Maddux so far in this inning struggling with that control. We talked about look at where it's set up. And that ball is right down Broadway. Thrown 25 pitches already in this inning, which is also very uncharacteristic of a Maddux ball game.
2-2 to Edgardo Alfonzo. And it's muscled down the left field line. He'll fall in fair for a base hit. Alou giving chase. On his way to third, JT Snow, and pulling up with a double, Edgardo Alfonzo.
Maddux trying to get in on Alfonzo. This ball's going to tail in on the hands, but watch Alfonzo just pull the hands quicker and closer to his body. Watch the adjustment in the swing and just muscle that ball into left field. Worked hard to try to get the fat part of the bat on that ball. Even though he still got jammed, he got enough on it to get it over the head of the third baseman and down the line for a double.
Maddux had to leave his last start pitching against the Phillies on a brutally hot and humid day. At the end of 6 innings, he was just gassed. He said maybe I could have gone out there and hoped they hit the ball at somebody, but he was more concerned about his team winning the game, which the Cubs wound up doing. But a pile of pitches here in the opening inning today on a much more pleasant weather day. Strike one to A.J. Pierzynski.
In that same ball game, Sammy Sosa came out of the ball game late with dizziness. You don't see Sammy Sosa coming out of too many ball games.
A.J. a .371 batter with runners in scoring position, 4th best in the National League. And that one just missed him. Spectacular SBC Park here in downtown San Francisco. Runners at second and third, and it's in the air down the left field line. That ball slicing away from Alou. And he makes a running grab. Running over the bullpen mound. What a play that was by Alou. But Maddux gives up a run. The Giants strand 2 and lead 1-0.
Oh, you must be having a boy. What do you do, huh?
I'm not pregnant.
You're not?
No. Why?
Thank you?
Me?
Yes, thank you.
Girl, come on.
Amazing what a simple thank you can do. Introducing Thank You from Citi, a new kind of rewards program. Easy to earn, easy to redeem. That's a card you can count on.
This Friday,
It's time to pick a side.
it's our planet. It's their war. AVP, Alien versus Predator. Rated PG-13.
That's not tough enough to stop athlete's foot. Hit that with boom. Tough actin Tinactin. Tinactin's the only one proven to prevent athlete's foot. Lamisil can't say that. Get boom. Tough actin Tinactin.
Cigarette smoking is addictive and causes serious diseases. Smokers are far more likely to develop serious diseases like lung cancer than non-smokers. There is no safe cigarette. At philipmorrisusa.com, you can find this and other information on the serious health effects of smoking and links to reports from public health authorities, including links to sites that can help smokers quit. For more information, visit philipmorrisusa.com.
Center field is definitely my home. And I'm always ready to hit that wall. Sometimes I hit the wall so hard, it rattles my brain. But I'd rather rob a home run than hit a home run any day of the week. Just to see the expression on their face, that's the best feeling ever. I live for this.
Catch Major League Baseball all season long on Fox. Don't miss it.
The Teen Choice Awards isn't a normal show. Who better to host than Paris and Nicole? Join all your favorite stars with performances by Blink-182, Lenny Kravitz, and Ashley Simpson. The Teen Choice Awards at 8/7 Central, Fox Wednesday.
Loves it.
Dusty Baker managed the San Francisco Giants from 1993 through the 2002 season. Now in his second year in Chicago, he took the Giants to the playoffs 3 times during his 10 years. And then last year finally got a postseason series win when they knocked off Atlanta in the division series in 5 games and lost that heartbreaking National League Championship Series in 7 to the Florida Marlins.
I think that series was the series that showed the world how good the Marlins were as they go on to win the World Championship against the Yankees.
Dusty, a 3-time Manager of the Year in San Francisco. And of course in 2002 took the Giants to the World Series. We talk about a heartbreaking loss. That one to the Anaheim Angels, when much like last year's Cub team, they came within 5 outs of winning the World Series in 02, getting to the World Series in 03.
And I don't know if you're like me, Tom, but on that last play to end the first inning where Moises Alou hustled all the way over the right field line, almost tripping over the mound and getting close to the seats when he caught that ball. Flashes of Steve Bartman running through my head.
I am sure you are not alone. Swing and a miss by Aramis Ramirez. And Brad Hennessey making his major league debut has allowed just 1 hit, gotten strikeouts on Sosa, now Ramirez.
Watch the spin of the slider. You can see the dot that the hitters try to pick up from center field. Now the late movement, that's the pitch that is his bread and butter. He can throw that slider for a strike almost at will, and he's had pinpoint control of it so far today.
Derrek Lee looks at ball 1. Lee having an outstanding year, coming over from the defending world champion Florida Marlins. .298 batter, 22 home runs, 66 batted in. 1-1. A rough night last night for Big Derrek up against Jason Schmidt, who struck him out 4 times. High hopper to third. Alfonzo throws high, and it's into the stands. Lee will be awarded second base.
This is a play that just sets up for disaster. He had to wait on this play. Now he knows he's going to have to hurry, and he just airmails it. Most infielders, if they have to try to throw the ball too hard, if they get out of their normal rhythm of throwing the ball, they either hang on to it too long and throw it hard into the dirt, or they release too early, as you see right there, and the ball just sails on you and gets up over everybody's head.
Is the idea to charge and get it before it takes that second hop?
I don't think he could have done that, because then he would have made it a do or die play that he didn't have to.
Todd Walker in the lineup at second base today, and looks at ball 1 down low. Walker can hit, no 2 ways about that. A .285 batter, 13 home runs, 35 batted in. One of the stars for the Boston Red Sox during their run through the American League playoffs last year, losing in 7, of course, to the Yankees. 1-1. The Brad Hennessey story is just an amazing sequence of events after being the Giants' #1 draft pick, the 21st pick overall in 2001. They sent him to rookie ball. He pitched there about 30 innings after being drafted. Then he went down to the instructional league in Arizona, and he'd go to bed every night, could barely roll over. His back hurt so bad, was in tremendous pain all the time. Doctors looked him over and thought maybe he had pulled a muscle, whatever the case may be, and let it ride out and didn't pitch him anymore during the instructional league. When he came back to spring training the following year, it still hurt. So they decided to take a look, underwent an MRI, and they found out that he had a benign tumor, as Steve mentioned earlier, on his spinal cord. It required not 1 but 2 surgeries to get it out of there. So he missed all of 2002, came back last year for 15 games, and thank God been healthy ever since. 3-1 to Walker. Is ball 4 high.
I think a lot of the people were talking about whether or not he'd be nervous, #1 in his first major league start, which brings a lot of nervousness with it. But going up against Maddux, going for his 300th win, When you sit in a doctor's office and the guy looks across the table at you and says you have a tumor in your back, I don't think this game's scaring him too much.
Lee, the runner at second, Todd Walker on at first, and now Paul Bako. A 198 batter, only 6 runs batted in. Bako has pretty much become the personal catcher with the Cubs for Greg Maddux, as he was when the two were in Atlanta. There's ball 1 down low to Bako.
Talking to Chip Caray, the broadcaster of the Cubs, and he was talking about Bako and Barrett, the job that they have done, and everyone assumes because the pitching staff is so good that they're easy to catch. He says they're not easy to catch. You either have a bunch of hard throwers that are a little unpredictable and sometimes wild, like Wood can be. Pryor has probably the most poise and control. Zambrano's tough to catch. Maddux with the late movement on all his pitches. These guys are tough to catch. Not an easy staff to handle.
Throw in Matt Clement as well.
You got that.
1-1 to Bako. Fouled out of play, a ball and 2 strikes. 2 on, 1 out. 1-0 the Giants lead. Play Hit the Pros presented by the all-new GMC Canyon. And face real pitches from today's best hurlers. Log on to foxsports.com, keyword games. GMC, we are professional grade. Hennessey looking in, ahead in the count to Bako at a ball and 2 strikes, and it tails away at even a count. Two and 2 to Bako. 2 on, 1 out. Pulled to Snow. There's 1. And a soft throw down to second, didn't have a lot on it. And easily sliding in safely on what was a tag play after tapping the bag at first is Todd Walker.
Tommy, this is just a great play by a Gold Glove first baseman. Watch him get the out first then, and then lob the ball over the runner. He doesn't want to hit the runner in the back. Still possible to have a chance to make a play down there. If the ball bounces off the back, Lee scores from third base and you're in trouble. That's like putting a little air under a football when you have to make a touch pass just over a middle linebacker. An outstanding play, even though he didn't get the out down there at second.
Now Greg Maddux has always been not only a great pitcher, he has been a great defender and has been a pretty darn good hitter. I mean, if you could clone a pitcher, most people would want that guy who throws 95, 97 miles per hour, i.e. Randy Johnson, Jason Schmidt, and the like. I'm not so sure if you had to clone a pitcher that this wouldn't be the guy that you would clone. Everything you want. 13-time Gold Glove winner, swings the bat, great stuff, and maybe most importantly of all, a phenomenal competitor.
I would think that that's what he would say is his greatest attribute, is being a student of the game and the tenacity behind it. They call him the professor. Weighs about 185 pounds, wears glasses when he's not on the field, looks very unintimidating, and then just beats you up.
1 and 2 the count on Maddux. Runners at second and third. And it's away at even a count. Corey Patterson standing in the on-deck circle. Hennessey trying to put Maddux away and keep it a 1-0 ball game. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called on a breaking ball to end the inning. An error, 2 left. 3 strikeouts for the kid. 1-0 Giants.
If a concert hall can be acoustically tuned, if a 60,000-seat stadium can have a retractable roof, if an 80-ton bullet train can glide on air, why not your SUV? At GMC, our engineers don't just ask questions, they have answers. The the GMC Envoy line of SUVs. Professional grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
Cholesterol. It comes grilled, fried, slow cooked, and twice baked. But did you know it also comes from mom, dad, Grandma Ethel, or Grandpa Sam? Your bad cholesterol doesn't just come from food. It's also produced naturally by your body, based on heredity. So, now you know, everyone's bad cholesterol comes from two sources, food and family. If you're having a hard time lowering your cholesterol, ask your doctor about the two sources of cholesterol.
I like things in life that are the best. My best friend. The best shortcuts. The best cuts. And of course, the best place for these. My son. Chris, let me call you back. I'm a little busy.
For the best deals in wireless, it's your neighborhood Radio Shack. Now get this LG 3200 color screen phone from Verizon Wireless for just $19.99 with 2-year agreement.
Did I mention the best sport?
Radio Shack.
Hey, I see you all the time. You think you're a little very nice, waiting to give me a line. Give me a line. Give me a look. Give me a taste. Yeah, that's right. You're gonna have to chase me.
Giants come to bat bottom half of the second inning against Greg Maddux, leading 1-0, and it's ball one to Marquis Grissom. Latter third in the batting order coming up. Grissom, Deivi Cruz, and Brad Hennessey. Maddux threw 29 pitches in the opening inning. On the ground down to third. Ramirez throws high, but Lee makes a tag for the first out of the inning. Major League Baseball on Fox is brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Lose the carbs, not the taste. Grissom set down to open up the second inning, and here comes Deivi Cruz. Boy, what a year this guy's having. Basically saw 0 playing time early in the year when the Giants brought him on board. But carries a .290 batting average with 24 runs batted in. Garciaparra throws in time for out number 2.
And one of the reasons why Greg Maddux has been such an outstanding pitcher over his 19 seasons is the great changeup, and Scooter's going to tell you about what a changeup's all about.
Hello, friends. It's Scooter. A changeup is just another word for a slow ball. While the batter is looking for a real fast pitch, the pitcher throws me really, really slow.
Brad Hennessey looks at a fastball, strike one.
We were talking earlier about checking out the Fox box at the top of your screen and the miles per hour on that. A lot of times Maddox's fastball will look like everyone else's changeup. 83 miles an hour. In the playoffs last season, when we had Josh Beckett throwing a 97-mile-an-hour fastball and a 90-mile-an-hour change.
Same thing we saw from Jason Schmidt here last night.
And Schmidt has become basically a 2-pitch pitcher, and that's what he uses.
2-1 delivery is high. 3 balls and a strike to Hennessey. Well, Maddux cruising along here, getting Grissom on a ground ball to third, Cruz on a grounder to short, and only thrown 4 pitches to get the first 2 outs of the inning. And now has gone 3-1 on his counterpart, Brad Hennessey. Boy, how about being Brad Hennessey? Maybe not later today, but right now. Bottom of the second inning, you're beating Greg Maddux, you face him at the plate, and you're on base. Well, September 7, 1986. Look at Greg Maddux, old Riverfront Stadium. His first win, a complete game against the Cincinnati Reds. He allowed 11 hits and 3 runs. Sal Butera ending that game on a double play ball. Sean Dunston, Ryan Sandberg and company coming over to say attaboy. 298 wins ago.
Maybe it's possible that in 19 seasons from now we'll be rolling back this game, talking about Hennessey's very first victory.
You never know. You never know.
I'll tell you what, Tom, Maddux so far in the early going is really struggling with location. We talked about that in his scouting report. He owns both sides of the plate, has had trouble hitting the corners today.
2-1 to Ray Durham. .41 pitches now for Maddux, and there you see the balls and strikes. Steve, precisely what you were just talking about. Only one more strike than ball. Pulled foul. Ball dude down there a little tardy. It's hard to get off those little seats they give him, though. They got to keep them low enough not to block the fans sitting right behind him.
It's not the seat. It was hard to get his stomach out of the way to go over there and make that play.
Now, why do you got to be that way?
It's the truth.
2-2 to Durham. Popped up. Man, you are cold. Left side of the infield, Garciaparra's got it. Nomar and company coming up in the third. When we return to San Francisco, we'll take a break from your local Fox station.
People say a show this immature, outrageous, and embarrassing should be taken off the air.
Are you completely insane?
We say, let's put it on 5 days in a row.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Malcolm in the Middle, TV's funniest show. Now, 5 days in a row.
Weeknights this fall on Fox 17. All the hits, all the misses, all the action. Catch the Fox 17 sports ticket Sunday night at 10:30 only on Fox 17.
Action.
Fifth Third Platinum One checking delivers premium interest. Wow, premium interest. Wow, Fifth Third rocks. Platinum One checking delivers the convenience of 1,800 ATMs, over 1,000 banking centers, and 53.com, your 24/7 online banking resource. I still can't get over that rate.
Oh, no, I would never wear that.
Premium interest. Only Fifth Third. That's a wrap.
Shop where the builders shop to stay within budget. Discount Home Improvement has factory direct pricing on thousands of top quality cabinets, doors, windows, and plumbing supplies. Get the discount builders get at Discount Home Improvement on Plainfield at Leonard. Get the discount builders get on a custom kitchen from Discount Home Improvement, featuring free kitchen design for economy cabinets or top of the line. Shop where the builders shop to stay within budget. Discount Home Improvement on Plainfield at Leonard.
Be a part of the action, even if you can't be there. Get satellite TV and DSL for around $57 a month.
The area's only local primetime news. Watch the Emmy Award-winning Fox 17 News at 10.
Top of the order coming up for Chicago here in the third inning. Giants leading 1-0. Brad Hennessey began the year at AA, moved up to AAA, and now in his big league debut squaring off with Greg Maddux, who's looking for his 300th career win. And so far, so good for the 24-year-old native of Toledo, Ohio. Pitched at Youngstown State University. There's a strike to Patterson, 0-2.
The Youngstown State Penguins. Strike some fear in your heart when you're playing them.
I'm telling you. 1-2 to Patterson.
Patterson has worked very hard lately on bunting. As you look at Hennessey's numbers right there,
which we would have to do to get to 300 wins. We're going to put that back up there. I mean, just try to think about this for a minute now. To get to 300 wins, this young man is only 24. would have to average 21 wins per season the next 14 years from now until 2018 to reach 300 wins by his 38th birthday.
Wow.
Amazing.
Well, you look at what Maddux has done. 16 straight seasons with 15 wins or more. Unbelievable.
Roger Clemens a couple of years ago got to number 300, or last season, I beg your pardon, on his fourth try, you may remember, with the New York Yankees. Steve mentioned Tom Glavine at 259 and then Randy Johnson at 241. Johnson will be 41 years old in a little more than a month from now. Glavine in his late 30s.
Well, it's just impressive when you see the names of the great pitchers that we've come to know and love in this game and see that they're nowhere near 300 victories. Pedro Martinez. I mean, Pedro's been around for a long time. He's been a dominating force in the game. He's one of the best in the game. He's got 177 wins.
3-1 to Nomar on the ground to Deivi Cruz. He bobbles, and Garciaparra is safe at first. Second error of the game against the Giants' left side of the infield.
This ball takes a funny little hop on Deivi Cruz. He's down on it. Watch the ball pop up. See where his glove is. Looks like he's right there. Pops up, hits him off the heel of the glove. And now he's unable to regroup and throw out Garciaparra, who's hustling down the line as he always does.
Moises Alou fouled out down the left field line to Barry Bonds, his first time up. You know, getting back to that run by Maddux you were talking about a moment ago, it's obviously a testament to his greatness, which goes hand in hand when you're going to pile up that many wins with staying healthy. He's only been on the disabled list one time in his career, and that was for a foot injury, never an arm injury. Had some tenderness at back as well. But the other part of it, it's also again a reflection of the unrivaled success that the Atlanta Braves organization has had. All the years Maddux was there, they won their division every single year. They were winning 90-plus games a year. Runner goes, throw to second. And in there safely is Garciaparra. His second stolen base since coming over from Boston.
I like the fact that Garciaparra is running over here with the Cubs a little more than he was with the Red Sox. And it might be a little bit of the back and forth that's going on between the Boston media and the Boston organization and Garciaparra. A little wink wink about saying, my foot's just fine. My ankle's fine. My heel's good. I'm going to run. I'm feeling strong. Boy, Garciaparra still leads the headlines in Boston on a daily basis, and he doesn't play for him anymore.
2-0, a strike call to Alou. The tying run out there at second base. One out here in the third inning. Well, that whole story, I mean, there is something really wrong about that story because somebody is not telling the truth, and nothing even close to the truth.
And there's two aspects of it. When was he originally hurt? And was he thinking about going on the DL if he stayed in Boston?
And again, I don't know who's right and I don't know who's wrong, and we may never find out. But it is impossible to have the disparity to each side of the story that is going on as it pertains to Garciaparra and his final season with the Boston Red Sox.
Well, one thing's for sure, wearing that Cub uniform and speaking to him yesterday as we did, I've never seen him smile more in recent times than he is right now.
Yep. Lined hard into center field, but right at Grissom. He's got it for the second out. Garciaparra stays at second right now. A game break. Let's check in and say hello to Jeannie Zelasco.
Hi, Tom. Chipper Jones has been on a first-place team every year. He's played a complete season of baseball going back to T-ball. Mr. Jones, the common denominator, singles home 2 runs. He has 49 RBI on the season. And the Braves taking a 3-1 lead in the desert. Check out the other angle, bottom 3.
Well, the Atlanta Braves are at it again, trying for their 13th consecutive divisional championship. Sammy Sosa, the batter, with a runner at second base and 2 away. Cubs trailing here in the third against Brad Hennessey 1-0. Well, if you'd have seen the Atlanta Braves play at the end of April, at the beginning of May, you would have bet the ranch that that string of divisional championships would come to an end. Pulled foul by Sosa. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Here's what we talked about Sammy Sosa. Look at the location of this pitch, right out over the middle. That's an aggressive swing from Sammy Sosa, but out front too far and just pulls it foul. That's a ball that Sammy knows that he should have hit hard and hit it in the field of play somewhere.
Hennessey's been very sharp thus far. Half the base runners against him have come on defensive miscues, one by Alfonzo in the second, and Deivi Cruz here in the third. He should be out of this inning right now. Instead, he's facing Sosa, representing the go-ahead run.
He's got options right here. He can throw a fastball up and into Sammy and get him off the plate, go fastball away or the slider away and get him out right here on this pitch.
Slider away, got him out on that pitch. Bonds and the Giants coming up in the third, leading Greg Maddux 1-0.
Another man with too much time on his hands and not enough dirt under his fingernails. Saved the track suit for a day at the track and adhere to the following fitness program. 1 household chore, 1 Miller High Life Light, and repeat.
Wouldn't it be great if you could pay off all those high-interest credit cards and get extra cash for you? Call AmeriQuest now. We help homeowners do just that by refinancing their mortgage. You'll get your own personal loan specialist who knows you're more than your credit score. Call 1-800-AmeriQuest now or go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more.
On DVD this Tuesday. She is coming. She hasn't forgiven. She hasn't forgotten. And she isn't finished yet. Quentin Tarantino takes us over the edge. Uma Thurman.
You and I have unfinished business.
Baby, you ain't kidding. Kill Bill Volume 2. Only this Tuesday on DVD.
Will my car be ready this afternoon like you promised?
Yes.
Will you try to sell me something I really don't need?
No.
Come to Midas for great value and service every day. Lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 installed. Guaranteed for as long as you own your car.
Trust the Midas touch.
That's not tough enough to stop athlete's foot. Hit that with boom, tough actin Tinactin. Tinactin's the only one proven to prevent athlete's foot. Lamisil can't say that. Get boom, tough actin Tinactin.
A beautiful Saturday afternoon at SBC Park in San Francisco. The Giants trying to spoil Greg Maddux's attempt at winning 300 games. First pitch swinging, a broken bat by Ricky Ledee. 1 pitch and 1 out. Maddux trailing 1-0 in his second go-round for win number 300. I'd like to remind you, our regional coverage of Fox Saturday Baseball comes your way a week from today at 1 Eastern, noon Central, 10 Pacific. The Dodgers and the Cubs from Wrigley Field. Some will see the Giants and Phillies, others the Cardinals and Braves. And for those out west and back in New York, it'll be the Yankees and the Seattle Mariners from Safeco Field.
Boy, Tommy, we talk about the great reactions and the Gold Glove of Greg Maddux. I don't think he saw this bat come back at him. Look at the reaction. I don't think he picked that bat up until the very last second. You imagine if you don't see it, you don't pick it up, and it just comes straight back at you. Wow.
J.T. Snow lifts a fly ball down the left field line, and it is fair. Alou over to pick it up. And Snow a big turn, but will stop at first base with a 1-out single. told you Maddux has surrendered the most home runs to Bonds than any other batter he's faced through the years. 8 of them. Walked him 22 times. Only Tony Gwynn more base hits against Maddux than Barry Bonds. Blowing away for ball 1. Now those numbers are a little bit deceptive. And that the first 7 years Bonds was in the league against Maddux, Bonds wore him out. It has been a dramatically different story since then. Bonds has not even hit 200 against him since 1994.
And just 2 home runs in those 10 years as well.
There you get a look. 204 from 94 to now 04. Bonds a sac fly RBI his first time up today. And he looks at a strike. Bonds number 3 on the all-time home run list. Now 687. Next up, Babe Ruth at 714. And of course, Henry Aaron, the all-time home run king, at 755. A legitimate shot, more than legitimate shot now for Bonds.
Talk about Bonds' numbers against Maddux. If you look at the lineup that the Giants are throwing out there today against him, in their careers, they're .316 hitters against Maddux. Not too shabby.
Not bad at all. 3-1 to Bonds. And he draws a walk. It's amazing what Bonds has done not only in his career, but as he's gotten older. Compared with some of the greats of all time, the numbers are overwhelming.
Look at the pitch by pitch to Bonds. Change up, down and away. Another change up, down. He's just going to make sure he keeps the ball down again. And then the 3-1 pitch, which I just think is amazing. You're going to see it coming up right here. Bonds is taking. He was taking on 3-1. No intention of swinging at any pitch that Maddux threw up there in that count. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody do that intentionally.
There's strike 1 to Edgardo Alfonzo. Now this is a little busy, but all you need to look at, the numbers there in the middle in yellow. The number of home runs that Bonds has hit the last 4 years of his career compared to roughly the same time frame for all the great sluggers, or a handful of the great sluggers in the history of the game. Swinging a foul ball back. All of them at 40-something. Bonds just turned 40 on July the 24th. But 90 more home runs than the Babe.
Well, Babe looks good, though. Doesn't he?
He always looked good. 0-2 to Edgardo Alfonzo with 2 on and 1 out. Fouled out of play. Talking to Don Sutton last night. Sutton, of course, a 300 game winner in his career, a Hall of Famer, and had a chance to broadcast just about every game Greg Maddux pitched during his tenure with the Atlanta Braves. Don Sutton was always thought of as a professor like out there on the mound during his career. Very smart, very heady, knew what was going on at all times around him. And he had a great line talking about Maddux last night. He said, I thought that I knew what I was doing out there on the mound during my career. He said, compared to Maddux, I got an honors degree at a junior college. He said, Maddux got a doctorate degree from an Ivy League school. Sutton said he's never seen or been around anyone like Greg Maddux out there on that mound. Full foul.
I was talking to Kent Mercker earlier today about Maddux's changeup, and he says he really believes he throws 2 of them. With the position of his pinky finger on the ball, he says most of his changeups go down and away to a left-handed hitter. He said he's seen him cut that ball and make it act almost like a slider down and into a lefty by the way he places that last finger on it. And we watch the release point of this pitch right here out of the hand of Greg Maddux. You see the ball rotate in the opposite direction and go down and into a righty. Maddux says when that happens, if it goes down and into a lefty, it's by accident. Mercker says no way.
Base hit in the right field by Alfonzo. They're going to wave around JT Snow. Sosa's throw coming to the plate. Not going to be in time. Throw to third, and he's out there. So it's 2-0 Giants on the run-scoring single by Edgardo Alfonzo. But Bonds cut down trying to go first to third, and it didn't look like he was going first to third all that hard.
Now watch Bonds get to second. He's looking for this ball to come into the cutoff man. He has a good idea right here when he sees it's a high throw, but he gets a late jump doing it. As you mentioned, going from first to second. If he maybe had hustled a little bit more getting there, he would have had a better idea and would have viewed the play better on the opposite side of second base.
A.J. Pierzynski hammers one into right center field, and Sosa's not going to get it. On his way to third, Alfonzo, they're going to wave him around. Here comes the throw to the plate. It gets by the cutoff man, and on to third goes Pierzynski. 3-0 Giants.
Pierzynski just hammers this ball. Look at location again, way away from where Paul Bako wanted that pitch. Sammy got no chance to catch this ball. It's hit way too hard. But if the fundamentals are there for the Cubs, they would get Pierzynski at third. This ball gets past the cutoff man. You look at where Pierzynski is. He's dead at third if they just cut the ball off. Boy, that's a good sound, though. Pierzynski at that point may have been thinking, I'll trade the out, which will be me, for the run score. Meaning he would let them cut the ball off and get him out at third, but the run would score before he would be out.
Grissom, a slow roller foul up the third baseline. 3 runs and 5 hits for the Giants against Greg Maddux. His second try for his 300th career win. He got a no decision his last time out against Philadelphia. He allowed 3 runs, 2 of them earned in 6 innings, but just ran out of gas on a very hot day. Threw only 87 pitches in the 6 innings. 1-1 to Grissom. It's a big series for the Giants. They moved Jason Schmidt up a day and got him to start here last night, trying to set the tone for this series, which he did with less than his best. Admittedly so last night. But the Giants starting this series 3 games behind the Cubs in the wild card race. Got the win, now within 2, and they've got a 3-0 lead. And they have Maddux working hard.
Well, the thinking there was to get the first win of the series, and they did.
2 more in the Giant third. They lead Maddux 3-0.
On August 20th.
Is there someone inside you?
Yes.
Go back before the story you know.
Father Merrin. How do you know my name?
And witness.
He will seek to poison your mind.
A new chapter of evil.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Unclean spirit, I cast you out!
Exorcist, the beginning. Rated R. Starts August 20th.
There's a power so awesome, so irresistible, you'll do anything to get your hands on it. Introducing Gillette M3 Power. Turn on the first micro power shaving system from Gillette and turn on the amazing new Power Glide blades. Micropulses raise the hair so you shave closer in one power stroke. Feel the power of the world's best shave. New M3 Power, a Mach 3 innovation from Gillette. The best a man can get.
If a concert hall can be acoustically tuned, if a 60,000-seat stadium can have a retractable roof, if an 80-ton bullet train can glide on air, why not your SUV? At GMC, our engineers don't just ask questions, they have answers. The GMC Envoy line of SUVs, professional-grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
Excuse me. Hi, can I see that laptop?
Sure. You can access the internet all around your house. It's wireless networking.
Did you say wireless?
I'm free, I'm free. Not just a puppet on a string, no ties to...
Find your freedom. Get a $150 rebate with select laptops at Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
Major League Baseball on Fox is brought to you by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, madly. This is a High Life by GMC. We are professional grade, and by Pepsi Edge, a new full flavor cola with 50% less sugar and carbs. A look at McCovey Cove. Here at SBC Park in San Francisco, where Brad Hennessey looking for his first big league win here today. Besting Greg Maddux through the front three in a 3-0 lead. That one down the right field line. A fair ball off the bat of Aramis Ramirez. Throw in his second base offline, and Ramirez with a hustling double. And a broken back hustling double.
This is a scary play for a player running the bases. Ramirez sees the ball going down the right field line, so he's watching it, not really taking a turn. He's hustling. Now he has to make a quick turn and try to get to second base. That's how you roll your ankle over, hustling all the way into second for that double. You're running down the line begging for it to drop. You momentarily forget to take your little turn out so that you make a good turn going into second.
And you know, Cub fans hold their breath because Ramirez missed nearly 2 weeks with a strained left groin and has been rather tender running around the bases ever since. Now big Derrek Lee. First pitch fastball on the outside corner, strike one.
And Ramirez was probably the best number 4 hitter in the game when he went down with that injury. Look at the starting pitchers and their numbers so far. Not coincidentally, is when the Cubs started to fade in the division race was the same time when Ramirez went down.
One and one to Derrek Lee, reached on an error by Edgardo Alfonzo his first time up. Runner at second, nobody out. Cubs trying to get back in it, trailing here in the 4th inning, 3-0.
We talked about the contrast between these two teams. This is a situation where the Cubs have struggled. Down 3-0 in this ball game with a guy on second base. You do have a guy in the middle of your order here that you expect to drive in runs, but at the very least they have to move the guy over,
which he's going to do and get him in. Maybe base hit into right field. They're going to hold Ramirez at third base. So Lee had the right idea and gets a base hit out of it. Runners on the corners and nobody out.
Excellent job. You can see by the way the inside out swing. Watch him pull his hands in, drag the bat head through to try to make sure he gets the ball to the right side. Not only does he move the runner over, but he gets a base hit for himself. You keep the inning going, and now you got a chance to get something going. This is the type of baseball right there that the Cubs have not done very well this season.
Cubs have gone 13-9 since the All-Star break. They've been hot lately, winning 7 of their last 10. They were a .500 club during the month of July when they went from 1 game back to double digits back in the National League Central behind St. Louis, who incidentally won again today, beating the New York Mets 10-1.
How good is that club?
And they just added Larry Walker.
Yeah, because they needed him. That's what Mark Pryor was saying in the Cubs clubhouse today. He goes, yeah, they needed more sock in the lineup.
Pitch to Walker. Outside, ball 1. Todd walked his first time up.
As we all know,
first test now for Hennessey here.
We all know it gets awfully hot in August in St. Louis. Same in Texas. You may see some of those races closing up a little bit. The dog days are upon us.
Runner goes, and it's pulled down the right field line, and it is a fair ball. It'll go to the wall. Ramirez scores. Lee being waved around. He'll score. Walker on his way to third. A 2-run triple, and it's a 1-run game.
You said it before, Tommy. This kid can always hit. Boston didn't like his defense. You see Derrek Lee at second base, not sure where that ball was. They couldn't pull it out of the corner, Ricky Ledee. But Walker can put his bat on the ball. Nice swing. You see Walker hustling to second base, looking behind him as Ledee could not pick the ball up in the corner. Then he made his decision to move on to third.
Well, they're scoring that a double and then an error on the right fielder Ricky Ledee. He had a few problems down in that corner. That's why you saw Walker taking a peek back.
You know, and that's a play right there for a player that no one can help you with. The play isn't technically in front of you anymore because you're running to second base. That ball's down in the right field corner. You have to do it yourself. Can't really look at the third base coach for help in that situation. He's not any closer to the play than you are.
Now runner at third, nobody out. Bako trying to tie this game. And looks at ball one.
Look at what Ledee is doing down there. The ball bounces off the sign. He can't pick it up. Now he's thinking about following it around just to see what it eats.
Fouled out of play. Now Alfonzo about even with a bag at third. Likewise for JT Snow over at first. Anything hit right at them if Walker breaks for the plate. And with a pitcher on deck, you got to believe he would be coming on contact. Middle infield conceding the run. Fly ball short left field. Bonds coming in to get it. And Walker not going to take the chance. Big out right there for Hennessey with a pitcher coming up.
This is a tough decision for any third base coach. We know Bonds does not throw well anymore. Walker, decent speed on third base. Bonds does a good job of just making an accurate throw to the cutoff man in case you have to relay it. Wendell Kim has come under a lot of fire in Chicago with his decisions at third base.
Well, now Felipe Alou is going to bring his infield in with Greg Maddux at the plate. Tying run at third, one away here in the top of the fourth inning. Maddux, a two-hopper at Durham who bobbles and still got the out. Walker still standing there at third, two away in the inning.
A lot of people might be wondering why are you not running on this play, but you don't. This is not a contact play. When the infield is in, the design is to make sure that you cut the run down at home plate. So as a runner on third base, the rule is you have to make sure the ball gets through the infield. If it does, you'll walk home. If it doesn't, you're dead at home plate.
Now Corey Patterson twice has bounced out to JT Snow. Big swing and a miss. Three runs, 5 hits for the Giants, 2 runs, 4 hits for the Cubs against Brad Hennessey. Pitch number 71 on the way. And it's too low to even the count of a ball and a strike.
What do we talk about? The same type of fundamentals. We saw Derrek Lee do an outstanding job of getting the runner to third base, and now unable to get him in.
Leaning on a 2-out hit. And Hennessey ahead of Patterson and a ball and 2 strikes. Whoa, look out down there. Better go back, get that lid.
Watch this. This guy's auditioning to be the next bald dude. He spilled his beer, ripped his pants, lost his lid. I think his body even took a bad hop. Look at this. That's not quite the way you do it.
Look at the ball dude. They're backing up the play.
He was there. Now, you know what I like about here in San Francisco? They don't keep this guy out of the game. Innocent mistake.
Swing and a miss by Patterson to end the inning. The Cubs get 2, but they had a tying run at third. Nobody out. Failed to get him in.
The prospect of a dance class can fill even a battle-tested war hero with mortal terror. For all our kin with machinery, concrete, or hand tools, who dares imagine he has command of his footwork? Who dares work the ladies at the dance hall with the handsome efficiency of Fred Astaire? If you want to stay off of her feet, you want to stay light on yours. Avoid the punch. Be thankful there's a light way to live the high life.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things just doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the others by the time I finish my song?
From the bread we bake fresh every day to the fresh ingredients we prepare right in front of you. Everything we do fresh. What do you choose?
Then you're absolutely right.
Tom, look at me. Are we ever going to get married?
Thank you.
Well, you've never said that to me before.
I mean it. Thank you.
Amazing what a simple thank you can do. Introducing Thank You from Citi, a new kind of rewards program. Easy to earn, easy to redeem. That's a card you can count on.
Your car has many natural enemies. One is rather surprising. Startup. The critical time when engine wear is more severe. Now there's new Castrol GTX Startup with unique polarized molecules for advanced startup protection. Now there's help with one enemy. The others, you're on your own. New Castrol GTX Startup. Protection from the moment you turn the key.
Behind every great champion is someone who believes in them. Oscar De La Hoya.
Giants come to bat here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. First pitch swinging. Deivi Cruz, a high hopper down to Aramis Ramirez. One gone against Greg Maddux.
All right, now this is classic Maddux. Throws strikes early on and gets guys to take swings like this. That's an excuse me hack on the first pitch of the at-bat. There are a lot of first pitch swingers. I was myself, but you got to get a better pitch than that. If you're going to go up hacking on your first pitch, you got to get dead red and air it out.
Ball one to Brad Hennessey, who walked his first time up. 3 runs and 5 hits for the Giants against Maddux. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Cubs against Brad Hennessey. A ball and a strike. Maddux, a Cubs second-round draft choice back in 1984. The scout who signed him, Doug Mapson. Got him out of Valley High in Las Vegas. High hopper foul up the third base line. Spent 84 in Pikeville, 85 in Peoria, 86 started in Double-A, went to Triple-A, came to the major leagues. Told you he got his first complete game win against Cincinnati that year. The following year, he lost 14 games and had an ERA of over 5.5. Now, do you think anybody could have honestly told you, and there are those that'll tell you, hey, I thought he'd be a good pitcher. Dick Pohl, now the bullpen coach for the Cubs, and of course he'd been around a long time, and he was Maddux's pitching coach both in the minor leagues and at the major league level with the Cubs. Thought he would be an outstanding pitcher. But when you watch a guy's first full year and he's getting banged around the way Maddux did, I mean, are you thinking that's a 300-game winner?
No chance. And Maddux wanted that call right there, too, for strike 3 against the opposing pitcher in his first game ever. Didn't matter.
Got it anyway. Time now for our multi-award-winning rendition of the Pepsi Fan Cam.
What awards has the Fan Cam won?
The list is so long.
Oh, out in McCovey Cove.
No wedding out there today. It's when you misidentified the groom a couple of years ago. In the air, Sammy coming on, couldn't find it initially. Now he does so. And somebody's got to pick up his lid.
Well, the bride was kissing everybody. What would you do?
The conditions at today's venue are perfect. Not too hot, not too cold.
Henry scores some points early with the hand wash.
Good move avoiding the pants there. No surprises in this routine.
Wait a minute. Booyah! What a finish! This moment deserves a Pepsi Edge.
Reward yourself with new Pepsi Edge. It has full-on flavor, but 50% less sugar and carbs. So feel free to celebrate any little achievement.
Years of conditioning really paid off there.
State third, Taco Bell's chicken quesadilla. Now? It's a bit more portable than your average lunch. The chicken quesadilla from Taco Bell. Grilled all-white meat chicken and 3 melted cheeses neatly folded inside a tortilla for a taste that goes anywhere. Hey, you got a little... Hey, thanks. To get the chicken quesadilla, think outside the bun. Spice up the night. Open till midnight or later.
I'm wherever I want to be as I'm riding on the boulevard. If you want, you can come with me. We can ride on down the boulevard. I'm wherever I want to be as I'm riding on.
Introducing the Suzuki Boulevard line of cruisers. Choose your Boulevard.
That's not tough enough to stop athlete's foot. Hit that with boom. Tough actin Tinactin. Tinactin's the only one proven to prevent athlete's foot. Lamisil can't say that. Get boom. Tough actin Tinactin.
Is it true that you guys do more brake jobs than anyone else?
Yes.
And they're guaranteed for as long as I own my car?
Yes. Come to Midas for great value and service every day. Lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 installed. Guaranteed for as long as you own your car.
Trust the Midas touch.
From a cornered fugitive who won't come out to a suspect who won't give in. Cops' greatest takedowns. A full hour starts at 8 tonight on Fox.
3-2 ball game. The Giants got one in the opening inning. A sac fly run batted in from Barry Bonds. Got a pair in the third on singles by Alfonzo. A double by Pierzynski. The Cubs got 2 back in the fourth inning on a 2-run double by Todd Walker. And now Nomar Garciaparra drops a base hit down the left field line. Bonds able to cut it off. But into second base goes Nomar with a leadoff double representing the tying run. His second hit today.
Well, Nomar is a first pitch hacker. You should come nowhere near the strike zone on the first pitch. He's got more hits than anybody on the first pitch. Look at the balance through his swing. He goes up there ready. He wants to hit the first pitch.
When you talk about extra base hit power for a middle infielder, especially a shortstop, over 40% of his 1,290 career hits have been for extra bases. Tyler Walker will start to get loose in the Giant bullpen. A much maligned Giant bullpen. That pitch in the dirt gets away from Pierzynski. Got away from him twice.
He kicked it.
A reminder that Singular Wireless has put you, the fans, in command of today's Singular Player of the Game. Register by text messaging PLAY to 369 on your Singular Wireless phone, or log on to foxsports.com on MSN keyword PLAY, and you will vote on our Singular Play of the Game.
You know, Tom, just to illustrate what I was talking about with Garciaparra, in the last 7 years he's got 340 hits on the first pitch, and we're talking about first pitch hackers, guys like Vlad Guerrero and Vinny Castilla.
And this guy right here,
Moises Alou, will go up there hacking. Garrett Anderson. You know, you're talking about some classic guys that go up and do not waste any time. Garcia has more hits in the last 7 years than any of those guys on the first pitch. Now, why would you throw him anything close?
1-1 to Moises Alou. Pulled hard into left field. Bonds racing back. He's got it. And back to second goes Garciaparra. One away in the inning. Well, here comes Sammy Sosa. Hennessey has struck him out twice.
Well, he did a great job of pitching. Little slider away. And go in on Sammy just to show it. He pulls it foul. Now he's going to go back away where he cannot reach that slider off the end of the bat. See you later. Hennessey has been in control of his emotions and has been in control of his pitches. Done a nice job today pitching. And I would assume he'd approach Sammy in much the same way as he did before.
Again, Pierzynski set up away and a bluff throw back to second base, where Garciaparra represents a tying run here in the top of the 5th. Well, for the first time since Sosa became a Chicago Cub, he has heard some boos this season at Wrigley Field. The expectations so high for this Cub team coming into the year. After getting to the NLCS last season, swung on and fouled away. Now, they have been hurt badly this year by injuries. There's no debate about that. But even the most hardcore Cub fan will tell you, with 2 months left to go and this team almost completely healthy now, it would be inexcusable, or put it this way, it would be a major disappointment if the Cubs do not reach the playoffs. They have a favorable schedule, they have everybody back, and they lead in the wild card. And Sosa grounds it to third. 2 away in the inning. Garciaparra led off the inning with a double, and he's still stuck there at second base.
I have not seen Sammy Sosa be this pull happy in the last 7 or 8 years of his career, standing that far off the plate and trying to pull everything. The little toe tap that he uses to set up his swing, but just a little bit too much spinning on that back leg. As we talked in his earlier at bat, he is best and became a complete hitter when he learned how to go the other way, and he's gone away from that this season.
Now Aramis Ramirez, who doubled down the right field line, broke his bat his last time up, scored the first Cub run. Looks at ball 1 low and away. Well, Hennessey trying to pitch out of major trouble when you consider the people that he had to face after a leadoff double by Garciaparra. He got Alou on a line to the left, Sosa on a grounder to third. 1-0-2 Ramirez is ball 2.
Boy, I would be very careful with Ramirez right now in this situation. If I'm Hennessey's behind in the count, 2 balls and no strikes, I would not give in and not worry if I walked him. I'd rather face Lee.
Terrific breaking ball there on a 2-0 pitch. Well, there aren't a lot of youngsters coming up making their major league debut throwing 2-0 breaking balls for strikes. That's big league pitch.
That was the scouting report. Can throw that slider for a strike anytime he wants.
And then a fastball paints the outside corner, strike 2. Ramirez has something to say to Ted Barrett.
Painting the corner. Look at Pierzynski setting up, framing it. Good pitch.
Tying run at second base. 2 away. 2-2 pitch to Ramirez. Fouled out of play off to the right side.
I asked A.J. Pierzynski what he was going to do to keep Hennessey in the ball game. He said, I was just going to try to keep him calm. Knows how to pitch. He's got good numbers as you look so far in this ball game. This is my job, just to keep him in the ball game. Calm him down. Look at Pierzynski as he's waiting. Just letting him settle down before he has to throw the next pitch.
On the ground into center field, a base hit, and we are tied as Garciaparra comes home on the base hit by Aramis Ramirez.
Setting up for the slider away. Look at the location there, though. He just hung it, left it out over the plate. Well, it is amazing. And when you play the game, you don't really realize. You come up here and sit and do games like I'm doing now after playing for 13 years. It is amazing the difference that it takes for a good pitch, a slider that hits the outside part of the plate, and you get guys out. And if you miss by 3 or 4 inches and leave it out over the middle of the plate, it gets hit and hit hard.
Now Greg Maddux, who fell behind 3-0, has watched his team come back to tie it. His second try today for his 300th career win up against Tennessee, making his big league debut. One 1-0 to Derrek Lee. Pitch on the way and fouled out of play. Well, we have a moment. Our Budweiser Fantasy Player of the Week is Mike Cameron of the New York Mets. Log on to foxsports.com, keyword fantasy baseball. And today's game brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. I was giving him a chance to give that last line there, Psycho. Hot, 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 hot.
I knew you were a big Ashford and Simpson fan. That is hot, too.
That ball hammered into deep right center field. Back to the wall and off against the bricks. Ricochets to Grissom. On his way to third is Ramirez. And he will score. And the Cubs have given Greg Maddux a 4-3 lead here in the 5th inning.
Another ball left in the middle of the plate. Watch Pierzynski's reaction as soon as he sees it. Watch him tap his glove saying, that's not where I wanted it. And a great job by Grissom on the carom off the wall. Look at the positioning of Marquis Grissom. Didn't matter, couldn't get the ball in time to cut down the run at the plate. But Grissom does a better job than anybody in this ballpark of knowing where the ball's going to bounce off the wall.
Big 2-out hits here in the Cub 5th inning by Ramirez and Lee to chase Hennessey. Cubs 4, Giants 3. Walker comes on from the pen.
Cigarette smoking is addictive and causes serious diseases. Smokers are far more likely to develop serious diseases like lung cancer than non-smokers. There is no safe cigarette. At philipmorrisusa.com, you can find this and other information on the serious health effects of smoking and links to reports from public health authorities, including links to sites that can help smokers quit. For more information, visit philipmorrisusa.com.
Oh, you must be having a boy. What do you do, huh?
I'm not pregnant.
You're not?
No. Why?
Thank you?
Me?
Yes, thank you.
Girl, come on.
Amazing what a simple thank you can do. Introducing Thank You from Citi, a new kind of rewards program. Easy to earn, easy to redeem. That's a card you can count on.
Singular is having a huge back-to-school sale on camera phones. We're all getting Motorola's with Bluetooth technology. The Samsung with Zoom. Wait, I thought we agreed on the LG. It downloads games. It's Zoom. You know what, guys? We don't always have to do everything alike.
Celebrate back to school with up to $150 off a super wide selection of the coolest new camera phones available.
We call it our Now You Can Tell Us Apart plan.
Great savings on camera phones. Another reason Singular fits you best.
This Friday,
we're in the middle of a war.
It's winner take all.
It's time to pick a side.
AVP, Alien vs. Predator, rated PG-13, Friday.
Enterprise rent-a-car for our trip?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Even airports.
See? Airports, too.
Hello, welcome to Enterprise. Let me help you with that.
Wow, the friendly service of Enterprise is everywhere.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Tommy Hennessey did a great job, but look at Pierzynski. That's Ramirez's base hit and positioning again of the pitch. Wants it down and away to Lee. Doesn't happen. Both balls get hit hard.
And now Felipe Alou turns it over to his bullpen. And boy, this has been a bunch. It has been knocked around on a regular basis over the last month. Tyler Walker, the rookie right-hander, comes on. His 36th game. They've got a handful of pitchers that are on pace to pitch in 75 or more games, including Jim Brower, who's on pace to pitch over 90 games.
Hey, look at the final numbers from Brad Hennessey, who did a nice job. We saw as he started to tire in this inning of the ball starting to sail out over the middle of the plate and was unable to keep location with them.
He did a good job.
Yes, he did.
I mean, he handled himself well. His major league debut. I mean, just think of all the butterflies and how nervous you are just on that alone. And then you're going up against a guy that Hennessey told us yesterday watched all the time as a kid. I mean, the Cubs played on a superstation. The Braves played on a superstation. So watch Maddux just about every single start. 2-2 to Walker.
Sure as heck is talking to the right guy after his start next to Jason Schmidt there. Noah Lowry on the other side of Schmidt. Schmidt leading candidate probably at this point in the season for the Cy Young Award.
2-2 to Todd Walker, runner at second. Cubs leading by a run, and a pitch check swing. They appeal down to third, and Ed Rapuano said he didn't go around. Full count.
Well, I think Walker right here is looking dead red. And if he doesn't get it, he might spin himself right into the ground trying to swing at it.
He swung at it, and it wasn't a fastball. Barry Bonds and the Giants have fallen behind for the first time. 4-3. Bonds due up third in the fifth.
Will my car be ready this afternoon like you promised?
Yes.
Will you try to sell me something I really don't need?
No. Come to Midas for great value and service every day. Lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 installed. Guaranteed for as long as you own your car.
Trust the Midas touch.
Yo, who got this new Angus steak burger with bacon and cheese?
Me, baby.
Angus burger with extra steak sauce?
Man, what are you watching? Meat.
Satisfy your instinct for beef with a fierce new steak burger made with 100% Angus beef and jammed with fire grill taste. The new Angus.
I'm the king of the shop! What's gotten into Flacco?
The Angus.
Have it your way.
Singular's having a huge back-to-school sale on camera phones. We're all getting Motorola's with Bluetooth technology. The Samsung with Zoom. Wait, I thought we agreed on the LG. It downloads games. It's Zoom. You know what, guys? We don't always have to do everything alike.
Celebrate back to school with up to $150 off a super wide selection of the coolest new camera phones available.
We call it our Now You Can Tell Us Apart plan.
Great savings on camera phones. Another reason Singular fits you best.
Most home improvement shows take you from this to this, but they never show you the reality in between. This August, 8 couples will move into 4 rundown condos.
Oh my God.
And compete against each other in the ultimate remodel competition.
Open that door, I'll beat you sideways.
The Complex Malibu, breaking ground this August on Fox.
Major League Baseball on Fox is brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. By Burger King, who remind you to have it your way. By Pepsi Edge, a new full flavor cola with 50% less sugar and carbs. And by Midas. Trust the Midas touch. Greg Maddux hoping for the Midas touch over the final 5 innings here today, and looking to pick up win number 300 in his marvelous major league career.
You talked about it earlier, Tom, not letting Maddux settle in. He has not had his best stuff today.
Fly ball in the right center by Ricky Ledee, and Patterson is there to corral it. 1 gone here in the 5th.
But you sure as heck don't win 300 games in the big leagues by being a guy who can't win without his best stuff, and being a guy who doesn't smell blood when you get the chance. With your team now leading this game 4-3, you may see Maddux settle down and throw 2 of his best innings to finish up.
Wins, a level reached by only 21 pitchers in Major League history. This season, of course, Maddux returning to the Cubs, the club that originally drafted him after signing as a free agent very late on February the 18th. Steve mentioned earlier, Maddux the first pitcher ever to win 15 or more games in 16 consecutive years, and during that 16-year span, he has led the major leagues in wins and innings pitched, and second only to Pedro Martinez in earned run average. To think that over 16 years, Maddux an earned run average in a hitter-friendly era of 2.76. And 13 gold gloves. Ho-hum. Those of you watching the Atlanta Braves and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tom Brenneman, Steve Lyons, our entire Fox crew here at SBC Park in San Francisco, where the story today is Greg Maddux. looking for his 300th career win. Fell behind 3-0. The Cubs have come back to give him a 4-3 lead. And now Barry Bonds on the first pitch to right center field. Sammy is there, and Maddux sails through a 1-2-3 fifth. His first. Time to get Bonds here today.
Assurance in rain means Goodyear's deeply carved aqua chutes propel water away from your tread. Assurance on ice means Goodyear's interlocking treads deliver gripping power. Assurance on dry pavement means Goodyear's reinforced shoulders give you confident maneuvering. The revolutionary new Goodyear Assurance with triple tread technology for assurance in any weather on the wings of Goodyear.
We're here live where Big Donald Faison is wrestling with a very tough opponent. Faison's really struggling today, Rich. Well, if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen, right? You gotta give credit to the pickle jar. It's putting up one heck of a fight.
Yeah, that's some vacuum it's packing, huh?
Wait, Faison's loosened its grip. He's done it! Folks, this moment deserves a Pepsi Edge.
Reward yourself with new Pepsi Edge. It has full-on flavor, but 50% less sugar and carbs. So feel free to celebrate any little achievement.
Tell you what, that would have been an embarrassing loss for Faison.
Cholesterol. It comes grilled, fried, slow-cooked, and twice-baked. But did you know it also comes from Mom, Dad, Grandma Ethel, or Grandpa Sam? Your bad cholesterol doesn't just come from food. It's also produced naturally by your body, based on heredity. So, now you know, everyone's bad cholesterol comes from two sources, food and family. If you're having a hard time lowering your cholesterol, ask your doctor about the two sources of cholesterol.
If a lunar rover can get out of a ditch on the moon, if a tugboat can tow an enormous freighter, if an M1 tank can have a heavy-duty Allison transmission, then why can't your truck? At GMC, our engineers don't just ask questions, they have answers. The GMC Sierra line of pickups. Professional-grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
Never go to bed mad unless it's Saturday night with Mad TV.
Fran is either dressed for a sexy night or she's a big fat beanie baby. Look at you. You're no Miss America.
Mad TV, guest starring Vanessa Williams. Late night tonight on Fox.
Tyler Walker on in relief of Brad Hennessey, who allowed 4 runs in his 4 2/3 innings. Cubs got 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th to give Greg Maddux his 1-run lead. Maddux drew up second behind Paul Bako, then the leadoff man Corey Patterson. Bako 0 for 2 has bounced to first, flied out to left. 1-1. And that's a fair ball. Little cue shot down to left field line. It'll be extra bases for Bako as a fan leans out and taps it. And a ground rule double for Bako to begin the 6th inning. Well, a moment ago, Steve had a chance to catch up with Giants manager Felipe Alou.
Felipe, obviously, as a father, you got to be very proud to have your son playing in the big leagues. But how tough is it playing against him?
Well, I'm proud that he's a tough man, number one, and I'm proud that he's a good ball player too. And today, yes, it's in the big leagues, but he's been in the big league for a long, long time and been a very productive guy, a tough guy.
Felipe, what one area of your ball club has to improve for you to win this wild card or catch the Dodgers in the National League West?
Well, we have 2 kids now in the rotation. We need to get more innings. Sorry about this. More innings from the starting pitcher. So that's why the reason our bullpen went dog a little tired and then disarray a couple of times.
Felipe, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Greg Maddux steps up there and drops down his 8th sacrifice of the year. It was bunted so hard, Alfonzo turned around to look to third. Bako does not run well, but Deivi Cruz doesn't run well either.
Yeah. Watch the replay and where Deivi Cruz at shortstop is and how he has to get over there. You see both of them matched up at the same time. On a little bit of a wheel play defensively for the Giants, Cruz has to get over there about 5 steps earlier than he did.
Well, you got to wonder if Maddux is okay over there talking to the Cub trainer in the dugout. Maddux left after 6 innings. We talked about his last start. This ball hammered off the bat of Corey Patterson, and it is long gone into McCovey Cove. Patterson, number 13. And the Cubs extend their lead. It's now 6-3.
Patterson jumping all over a first pitch fastball, knows it's gone. So does Tyler. Patterson's one of those guys that the Cubs project to be a 25 to 35 run home run hitter as he develops into his career. Just needs to cut down on the strikeouts. Got him hitting leadoff right now, mostly out of necessity, but they see him as a middle of the order guy, maybe a little bit longer.
How do you like Maddux's chances now? He's only 136 games over 500 when he gets 5 runs or more behind him. That's pretty good.
Well, as we said before, too, when you start to smell blood, when you're a guy that's been there 300 times before, he went out and had a 6-pitch inning last inning.
1-1 to Garciaparra. And a soft liner to second baseman Ray Durham for the second out here in the 6th. Take a look at some of the other numbers around baseball, brought to you by Burger King. Oakland leapfrogged Texas in that American League West last night. Rangers got beat up by Baltimore. They trailed today. Atlanta in Phoenix, a 3-1 lead over the Diamondbacks. And we told you the Cardinals 2-1 winners earlier today at home over the Mets. Johan Santana on the mound in that one today for Minnesota. What a year he's had.
Every day he goes out there, he throws 7 or 8 innings, gives up 3 hits, 1 run, no runs. Been amazing.
Oh, and 1 to Moises Alou. 2 down, 2 in, nobody on. Lewis hit the ball right on the screws twice in 3 at bats. Back into third, a liner right at Marquis Grissom in center. Then lined out to Bonds, his last at bat in the 5th. 1-2.
That's a pitch right there. A little cutter, a little slider on the outer half of the plate that will give Alou trouble. For my money, as you watch the replay of that pitch, pinpoint location, he still has the quickest hands of any guy on the Cubs team if you try to throw him inside.
So they go outside and get him swinging. Greg Maddux coming right out of that dugout. Staked to a 3-run lead after the 2-run bomb into the bay by Patterson.
Is it true that you guys do more brake jobs than anyone else?
Yes.
And are my pads and shoes really guaranteed for as long as I own my car?
Yes.
Even if it's 20 more years?
Absolutely.
Do you ever cry at weddings?
No.
It's peak driving season. Come to Midas for great value and service every day. Lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 installed. And they're guaranteed for as long as you own your car. For mechanics known for their work and their word.
Trust the Midas touch.
There's only one most reliable wireless network in America. Why?
Works fine.
Good.
We won't let anything stop us.
Can you hear me now?
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
That's not tough enough to stop athlete's foot. Hit that with boom, tough actin Tinactin. Tinactin's the only one proven to prevent athlete's foot. Lamisil can't say that. Get boom, tough actin Tinactin.
Cool.
What's the coolest way for people on the move to pay for gas and convenience items? Speed Pass.
Cool. Really cool.
How do we know? We're drivers too. Link Speed Pass to a credit or check card you already use, and you can make one of the cool moves Ryan Newman does.
You just sent that email to the whole company. What? What were you thinking?
That is funny. Nice one, Squid.
Get it! Mr. Lee? Well, thank you.
Amazing what a simple thank you can do. Introducing Thank You from Citi, a new kind of rewards program. Easy to earn, easy to redeem. That's a card you can count on.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Greg Maddux climbs the hill, takes the ball, turns it loose to begin the bottom of the 6th inning now with a 6-3 lead. He's retired the last 7 batters since giving up the RBI double to A.J. Pierzynski in the 2-run third. 78th pitch of the game by Maddux is hit sharply, knocked down by Ramirez, but he can't find it. That'll be an infield hit undoubtedly for Edgardo Alfonzo, his 3rd hit today.
Ramirez mad at himself only because he couldn't find the ball. This is a bullet, 1 hopper hit on him, eats him up. Great view of it here. Great effort to make the play, and now he just can't find it. I think that's why they call it the hot corner.
Well, now A.J. Pierzynski, who just missed homering his last time up in the 5th inning, when he doubled to knock in a run into right center field. A ball and a strike.
Pierzynski this season, coming over from Minnesota, got off to such a slow start with the Giants. Big adjustment to playing in this big ballpark, clearly a pitcher's park. Daytime the ball travels a little bit better. I asked him if the park started getting in his head a little bit. He said, I'd hit my best bolt, wouldn't go anywhere. But he said, you know, it wasn't really the ballpark. He said, I was just crappy. He said, now I've started to swing the bat a little bit better.
Well, he had a monster month of July. As you get a look at the Cub bullpen, busy here. Maddux has reached the 80 pitch mark. That ball hammered down the right field line, but foul. So the left-hander Kent Mercker, the right-hander Jon Leicester getting warmed up. Maddux had back-to-back complete games in the middle of July. 9 innings, a 6-hit shutout against Milwaukee. Then went 9 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs to beat Cincinnati. His last 2 starts, 6 innings. Base hit center field, and here come the Giants. Runners at first and second, and nobody out. While we have a free moment, let's take a game break and send it back to Los Angeles and Jeannie's Alaska.
And it's El Duque back in the Bronx in more ways than one, shutting down the Blue Jays through 6+ innings and getting support from the bat of Bernie Williams. A 2-run single. He now has 1,100 career RBI in pinstripes, passing Don Mattingly, 8th all-time in New York. 4-0 Yankees, bottom 6.
Larry Walkshaw, the pitching coach for the Cubs, going to come out and visit with Maddux and Paul Bako. Back-to-back base hits by Alfonzo and Pierzynski to start this 6th inning. And that's going to be it for Greg Maddux. He's gone 5 innings, which would qualify him to get his 300th win. But the bullpen going to have to nail it down over the final 4 innings.
Enterprise rent-a-car for our trip?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Even airports.
See? Airports, too.
Hello, welcome to Enterprise. Let me help you with that. Wow, the friendly service of Enterprise is everywhere.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
That's not tough enough to stop athlete's foot. Hit that with boom, tough actin Tinactin. Tinactin's the only one proven to prevent athlete's foot. Lamisil can't say that. Get boom, tough actin Tinactin.
If you're gonna play this game, you have to stay in shape, especially you older guys. Ready, everybody
Everybody start hopping. Oh, shake those butts. It's a very important stretch. Faster. Feel it? Oh, yeah. Does that one feel good? Woo!
Boys and Girls Clubs of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball. Together, they create a positive place for kids.
Next week on an all-new episode of Rescue Me.
Looks like they're pulling a kid out of that car.
A firefighter's worst nightmare.
Oh, my God. Is she dead? She's hurt bad, but she's alive.
See why critics are giving Rescue Me 4 stars.
God takes my little girl tonight. I'm gonna want to know why.
Rescue Me, all new next week only on FX.
Very warm reception for Greg Maddux from the crowd here in San Francisco. As he leaves after 5+ innings, Steve, his last at bat when he put down a sacrifice in the top of the 6th inning. We saw Maddux talking with the Cubs trainer down in their dugout. And again, this is all speculation, but you just got to wonder if he's all right.
I don't think he is. He's only thrown 81 pitches in this game. It's the chance to win his 300th, and you look at the numbers on Jon Leicester, has been outstanding. But all due respect to him, Greg Maddux does not hand the ball over to anybody after 81 pitches in the 6th inning. If he's healthy. Has not had his greatest stuff today. Has battled through this entire game. But Maddux doesn't come out in this situation unless he's not healthy.
2 on and nobody out. Marquis Grissom, the batter. 6-3, the Cubs lead it. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it's strike 1 to Grissom, who was grounded to third and struck out. Fouled out of play, 0-2. Well, here's what we were talking about after Maddux put down the bunt. Reaching over and feeling the forearm or the wrist. I don't know, maybe just wiping it off. But talking about something with a trainer.
Trainers aren't guys you really like to talk to that much.
No. They say Grissom went around, and that's strike 3. On the appeal down to Lance Barksdale, the first base umpire.
Grissom making the offering at the pitch. Definitely a strike.
Now Deivi Cruz, a batter. Number 8 hitter in the lineup, has bounced to short and grounded to third. Ball 1 low. A pinch hitter has moved into the on-deck circle.
That's why I'm a little bit surprised that they weren't bunting in that situation with Grissom to try to move the runners over. You let Cruz take a crack at it. You know you're going to bring a pinch hitter up for the pitcher anyway. You got to get or try to get a run back in this game.
Popped up behind the plate and out of play. Leicester throwing the ball so well for the Cubs right now. They had a decision to make when they activated Ryan Dempster, who pitched in the game here last night. Less than a year after coming back from reconstructive elbow surgery. Todd Walker was having a fabulous year for the Cubs, but Leicester just a little bit better. So he stayed and Walker left. 2-1 to Cruz. Told you a pinch hitter has come out into the on-deck circle. That would be Michael Tucker for the time being. Hammered foul. The Boys and Girls Club of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball. Together they create a positive place for kids. What's more important than that? 2 on, nobody out, 1 out. And the 2-2 pitch is outside. Full count to Deivi Cruz.
That was a good location for that pitch. Leicester trying to get a double play ball out of Deivi Cruz. Most ironic thing about the Cub defense is that they're 2nd overall in defense and have turned the fewest double plays of anybody in the league. That's an ironic stat to go together.
Bouncer off the glove of Ramirez, making the turn and coming home is Alfonzo. And now it's a 2-run ball game as Deivi Cruz knocks in his 25th run of the season.
Cruz just beaten down on that ball, gets the high hopper. Ramirez can't come up with it. Ramirez jumping as high as he can, gets it off the webbing of his glove and can't keep it in. Alfonzo taking a good look at it, and after the ball gets past Ramirez, knows that he's going to try to score.
Now Dusty Baker going to summon the left-hander Ken Mercker to face Michael Tucker. We'll see if he bats after all.
Every 4 years, the world comes together to watch the best. The Fox Summer Games. With primetime marathons of the season's hottest comedies. Watch me fly! The Gladiators take the field for the NFL on Fox. Plus, the return of Family Guy. What? The games begin Friday with the ultimate athletic competitions.
Very close!
Man versus Beast. It all starts at 8, 7 Central, Fox, Friday.
Trailing the Cubs 6-4 here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Now Michael Tucker was announced as the pinch hitter. Dusty Baker made the decision to bring on the left-hander Ken Mercker. And now Felipe Alou will counter with Pedro Feliz to bat for Tucker. Interesting that Tucker would be taken down in his career against Mercker. He has 4 hits and 7 at-bats. Feliz against Mercker is 0 for 3. But Feliz, the kind of guy that can give the Giants a 1-run lead with 1 swing of the bat. Feliz playing time has pretty much dwindled down to nothing. And yet he has the 2nd most home runs on the team and ranks in the top 4 in runs batted in.
Led this team in RBIs at one point in the season.
Pierzynski and Cruz aboard. And it's low and away to Pedro Feliz.
Mercker said he figured to get in this game at some point with the left-handed hitting Giants at the top of the order. And now Feliz being the pinch hitter at the back end of it.
Swinging a foul ball back out of play. 1-2 to Pedro Feliz.
Want to be a big league catcher? Hello. That hurts a lot worse when you're the guy with the mask on.
Fastball up in the zone, and Feliz chases it, comes up empty. So now 1-2 on Feliz. This guy is almost impossible to walk.
There's that pitch coming right into your living room.
Well, now Mercker, he's been around a long time. He'll expand that strike zone. Only 14 walks all year for Feliz. He wouldn't chase that one again. And it's 2-2. Felipe Alou making the comment that Feliz is going to have to be a corner infielder the rest of his career. That one hooked foul. He's a versatile player. He's playing the outfield. He got a number of starts at shortstop early in the year when they were juggling some people due to injuries to Ray Durham and JT Snow. But they're locked into a big contract for 2 more years with Edgardo Alfonzo down at 3rd, and they brought JT Snow back again to play 1st. So Feliz, a guy who, to be quite honest about it, when playing does far more offensive damage than either one of those players, Snow or Alfonzo. Doesn't get the starts.
He's always been the guy that the Giants think they're going to give a chance to play every day and then doesn't get that opportunity. Odd man out always.
Fly ball center field. Patterson's got it. And the runners stay at 1st and 2nd. 2 gone in the inning. first time today. Turns around to bat right-handed. Went 1 for 3 against Maddux. Led off the bottom of the first inning with a triple and scored. Durham hitting .321 as a right-handed batter. .254 from the other side. Strike one from Mercker.
It was a lot of fun to be in that Cub dugout earlier before the ball game, and you look at the mentality of a relief pitcher like Mercker. Him and Glendon Rush doing a good job, the left-handers out of that pen, and how they think the ways they can get into a game. He saw the left-handers, and of course Durham the switch hitter, but then Ledee and Snow. He said, that's my opportunity to get in this ball game, and now you see it realized. He said guys used to joke with him all the time when he was a starter. Steve Bedrosian used to say when he was the long man on the team when they played together, he'd look at Mercker during his starts and say, oh, you're pitching today? I guess that means I'm going to be pitching too.
2-1 to Durham. And popped up. Playable for Walker, and that'll do it. Giants get one back. Trail by 2. Sammy and the Cubs coming up after a break from your local Fox station.
The New Look Dodgers battle Nomar and the Cubs. Fox Saturday Baseball next week.
You've got the truck. Now get the rest. Alice Tire and Truck Accessories has everything to make your truck the envy of the neighborhood. Alice has all the top-of-the-line accessories in their Spring Lake location. From running boards and racks to wheels and bed liners, we've got what you're looking for. Alice is a full-service facility and provides custom installation of all their accessories. You've got the truck. Now get the rest. Alice Tire and Truck Accessories in Spring Lake and Grand Haven. Check us out on the web at AliceTireandTruck.com.
Excuse me. Hi, can I see that laptop?
Sure. You can access the internet all around your house. It's wireless networking.
Did you say wireless?
I'm free, I'm free. Not just a puppet on a string, no ties to...
Find your freedom. Get a $150 rebate with select laptops at Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
Your mom took these? They're amazing.
Yeah. I wonder how she got them.
Download photos faster with SBC Yahoo DSL. Sign up online for just $26.95 a month and get 100 free prints from Yahoo Photos.
Michigan's premier gun and knife show comes to your town this Saturday and Sunday. It's the Grand Rapids Gun and Knife Show, and it's coming to the Grand Rapids Deltaplex this weekend. Don't miss vendors from around the country. There will be new guns, including the latest models, used guns from barely used to antiques, handguns, rifles, knives, military equipment, ammunition and reloading supplies, clothing, and more. Bring your old guns and knives. We'll help you sell or trade them. The Grand Rapids Gun and Knife Show is this Saturday 9 to 4 and Sunday 9 to 3 at the Grand Rapids Deltaplex. Admission is $5. Parking is free.
Fox 17 Sports, where the big boys play.
Top half of the 7th inning we go. A 6-4 Cubs lead over the Giants. Sammy Sosa to start things against a new pitcher, Matt Herges. Herges began the year as a Giants closer, something he had never done before. And you see he got 23 of them. But an ERA of up over 5.5. Dustin Hermanson came on to close out the ball game here last night. And the Giants looking for any combination of pitchers just to get outs. His bullpen has struggled mightily over the last month.
It's like a double-edged sword for the bullpen because the starters on this team have not gone deep into games, so the bullpen has been overworked. You get overworked, you get a little bit tired, and you're not going to admit that you're tired. You don't get guys out, you're not as sharp. You get up in the pen and don't get into ball games. You get up a couple times in a game and don't get in. Your arm's hanging halfway through the season.
One-two delivery. And a fastball is on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Sosa has struck out for the 3rd time today.
I think clearly for the Cubs, this is one of the things that they wanted to do, was get into this Giants pen, knowing how poor they've been over the last few weeks.
Steve, as you look at this wild card race, and the Cubs come into play today, 1 game better than San Diego, 2 better than the Giants, and there are others, I mean more than a handful of others that feel like at this point they have a legitimate chance to still win the wild card, including Philadelphia and Houston, the defending world champion Florida Marlins, only 5.5 back. As you look at the final 2 months of the season, if you had to handicap it, who do you like in that group?
Well, I like the Cubs for one of the reasons that you had said before. All of a sudden they're healthy and ready to play again, and they played 20 of their last 32 ball games against teams like Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Cincinnati, teams that they should be beaten up on. Montreal, another one of those clubs where they have to beat those clubs if they think they're going to be a playoff team.
Of course, as Cub fans know, Cincinnati and Milwaukee have played the Cubs very, very tough this season.
And Milwaukee's certainly a much improved team over the Milwaukee teams that we've seen in the past, but those are teams that you have to beat.
But if you're San Diego and the Giants, I mean, you're talking about having to face one another for at least a couple of more series. You have to face the Dodgers a couple of more series. You have to play Colorado. Now, in their ballpark, they can be tough to handle. And then, of course, even if you run into Arizona, the worst team in the league, if you happen to catch them like the Marlins did this week, where they've got Randy Johnson and Brandon Webb going in a series, that's no trip to the beach or the desert.
Yeah.
1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Of course, the Cubs are already finished with the St. Louis Cardinals. They are already finished except for one more set against Houston, which will come later this month. They still have a trip against the Florida Marlins. Big swing and a miss by Derrek Lee, and that'll end the inning. So a good solid 7th for Herges. Bonds and company down 2 as they stand and stretch at SBC Park.
Why is the Angus diet the best diet? It's the newest.
Diet doesn't have to be a 4-letter word.
I'm Dr. Angus, and I know the Burger King. If you eat, you're on a diet. On the Angus diet, you eat the Angus. Is Angus beef good? Who wants one of these with bacon and cheese? Yes! Respect the Angus, respect the beef. Fill the void within. Go to Burger King.
I like things in life that are the best. My best friend. The best shortcuts. The best cuts. And of course, the best place for these. My son. Chris, let me call you back. I'm a little busy.
For the best deals in wireless, it's Radio Shack. Like the Sprint PCS Vision Phone VI660 by Samsung, just $19.99 after $160 instant savings with 2-year agreement.
Did I mention the best sport?
Radio Shack.
Boy, oh boy, you think no one sees. But if a gal's minivan came home with as many dings as are in your golf shoe, there'd be unpleasant words. Don't bring soccer into a man's game. Gentlemen, be forewarned. In the treacherous ethical waters ahead, you'll meet 2 kinds. Men who live the high life, and those who need to.
Assurance in rain means Goodyear's deeply carved aqua chutes propel water away from your tread. Assurance on ice means Goodyear's interlocking treads deliver gripping power. Assurance on dry pavement means Goodyear's reinforced shoulders give you confident maneuvering. The revolutionary new Goodyear Assurance with triple tread technology for assurance in any weather on the wings of Goodyear.
Today's game on Fox is brought to you by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers, and by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly,
manly.
This is the High Life. Now, how about that High Life right there, Steve? That is big league.
A floating house. Mercker.
Apparently not doing well either. We wondered about Greg Maddux, who was talking to the training staff in the dugout. And now Mercker goes out there to warm up in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and off he goes. Well, the Cubs have certainly had more than their fair share of injuries this season, but really outside of Joe Borowski, their closer when the year began, who is expected back maybe in about 3 weeks. They are as close to full strength as they have been all season long.
I don't know if Mercker was pointing to his lower back, like maybe he's got a back spasm there, or what was wrong with him. At any rate, now Remlinger will come in to face the left-handers. Hey, Jim Belushi at the game.
Now wait a minute. Belushi's always been a hardcore Chicago guy.
Yeah, and he's got an orange shirt on.
And a black cap.
I don't know. I can't tell what it says on that cap. Gotta think that he came to see Maddux win his 300th game.
Many in attendance came to see Greg Maddux today, who broke in with the Cubs after being a second-round pick. 19 years in the major leagues. We told you the all-time record of winning 15 or more in 16 consecutive seasons. Back-to-back 20-win seasons. His last year with the Cubs, his first year with Atlanta. He's won 4 Cy Young Awards. And now Belushi's being told he's on the tube.
He's always on the tube. According to Jim, is his show. And his friend right now is telling him that we were burying him for his orange shirt.
Not we, you. August 18th, 98. Against the Giants. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. Rudy Cianez and Norm Charlton pitching the final 2 innings to give Maddux his 200th career victory. It's interesting to know that Robert Alexander, who got his 300th win as a Cub against the Giants, also got his 200th career win against the Giants.
That was a classy move from the fans here at the ballpark today. A lot of Cub fans, but the San Francisco fans all stood and cheered when Maddux left the game as well, recognizing the effort for 300 victories.
All right, now Mike Remlinger takes over and faces a pinch hitter, Dustan Mohr, who hits his first pitch down the line into the corner. And now the tying run will come to the plate here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. You know, the Cub bullpen has had its ups and downs this season as well. Borowski began the year as a closer. They tried LaTroy Hawkins out there. They've been waiting on Kyle Farnsworth to blossom into a closer for a number of years now. That hasn't happened. They have some great arms out there, and when healthy, you like the names and you like the stuff. But it has been a very, very inconsistent group.
And as you mentioned, some guys pitching out of the role that they want to be in. Borowski been down with an injury.
JT Snow pops it up, and Bako having to battle the bright sunshine behind him for the first out of the inning. Welcome those of you watching the Diamondbacks and the Braves in Phoenix. Braves leading that one 3-2 as they go to the 9th. Those chickens symbolic of the opposing pitchers being chicken to pitch to Barry Bonds. They hang one of those up every time he's intentionally walked. And it appears as though he will not be intentionally walked right now. First pitch swinging is Bonds and fouls it out of play. Bonds 6 of 17 in his career against Mike Remlinger. Of the 6 hits, 4 of them are home runs. Bonds 0 for 1 today, a sac fly RBI in the first. He was walked in the 3rd. Outside, a ball and a strike. Bonds representing the tying run here in the Giants' 7th inning. They trail 6-4.
Remlinger is going to try to come in on the hands of Bonds off the plate and try to get him out on balls away from him.
Oh, he got a pitch to hit right there and fouled it straight back. It is rare that Bonds will get a pitch like this and not do major damage.
Look at the concentration, the eyes of Barry Bonds. That ball up in the zone and out over the plate. Coming straight at you here, and you're right about that, Tommy. If Bonds gets this ball, it's still going.
1-2 the count on Bonds. Breaking ball down and away. Bonds 29 home runs this season. With his next home run, it will mark his 14th year, 13th consecutively, that he's reached the 30 homer level. Two-two pitch coming. In the air, deep right center field, but it will stay in the park. Patterson runs it down. And on his way to third and stopping right there is Dustan Mohr, 2 away in the inning. Bonds 0 for 2.
That's another classic example right there of Bonds hitting that deep fly ball as he did in his first at bat. He got the sacrifice fly with a man on third. But both ball clubs today have done a poor job of moving runners over. There's the ball that Bonds hits. If JT Snow was able to get Mohr to third base with the out that he used up, this is a sacrifice fly, and you're looking at another run for the Giants.
Now they'll need a 2-out hit, if not a wild pitch, pass ball, whatever the case may be, to get that runner in from third. And there's strike one to Edgardo Alfonzo, a perfect 3 for 3 today. A double in the first down the left field line, knocked in a run with a single to right in the third, had an infield hit in the sixth. Alfonzo only 2 of 13 in his career against Remlinger. 0-1. Down and away.
Remlinger just looked at Todd Walker and asked him to move about 4 steps to his left into the 2-hole between first and second base.
Which tells you what?
I think that Remlinger wants to pitch Alfonzo away, and he has a better opportunity to be hitting it in between the first and second baseman, and that's why he wanted to move him over. Now, worst thing that can happen to you is to move your second baseman over and then have the guy hit one right up the middle.
2-1 to Edgardo Alfonzo. Mohr at third base with 2 away. He lifts one the other way. Sosa coming on, and he's got it. That'll end the inning. Good work by Remlinger after allowing a leadoff double. We go to the 8th, 6-4 Chicago.
If a skateboard can have an active suspension, if a 60-foot fire engine can have rear-wheel steering, if a commercial airliner can check its own tire pressure, then why not your SUV? At GMC, our engineers don't just ask questions, they have answers. The GMC Yukon line of SUVs. Professional-grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
I'm wherever I want to be, as I'm riding on the boulevard. If you want, you can come with me. We can ride on down the boulevard. I'm wherever I want to be, as I'm riding on.
Introducing the Suzuki Boulevard line of cruisers. Choose your Boulevard.
There's only one most reliable wireless network in America. Why?
Works fine.
Good. We won't let anything stop us.
Can you hear me now?
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
The thing about fresh beer is this. It just tastes better. The clean, crisp taste of Budweiser and Bud Light. Fresh beer tastes better.
Ooh, look. Dear Prilosec OTC guys, what's so different about Prilosec OTC? Signed, the frequent heartburn guy next to you.
Whoa, big difference. Look here.
It's the only OTC that directly shuts down lots of those acid-producing pumps in your stomach. That's why it's the only OTC that can work for 24 hours with 1 pill a day.
Awesome.
One pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn.
Two moms have traded families. Now they take control.
This is off limits.
And the switch hits the fan.
I don't like her either. I felt so unwelcome.
Trading spouses. Meet your new mommy. All new at 8/7 Central, Fox Tuesday.
Top of the 8th inning, and Matt Herges starting his 2nd inning of work. He had a 1-2-3 7th inning. Third pitcher used today by Felipe Alou. Dustan Mohr remains in the game to play right field for Ricky Ledee. Todd Walker, Paul Bako, and then we'll see. Pitcher spot due up 3rd in the inning. And the Cubs have Kyle Farnsworth throwing in their bullpen. Hooked into right field, a base hit by Walker. His 2nd hit, 3rd time he's been aboard. And he can swing that bat. Well, this fall, America's #1 pregame show returns. Our guys take you on the road from opening kick all the way to Super Bowl 39 in Jacksonville. Along the way, they'll be live at some of the year's best games, bringing you the biggest stories around the NFL. Fox NFL Sunday. The journey begins September the 12th, right here on Fox. Jimmy Johnson, Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, and our main man, James Brown. Psycho, I know you're getting geared up for another season of NFL.
Love the NFL. Can't wait for it.
Paul Bako, the batter, and lays down the bunt beautifully. Picked up by Pierzynski, and he'll throw out Bako, give him a sacrifice. And Walker on to 2nd base. All right, you at home are currently voting among these outstanding plays from today's game to select as the singular play of the game. And you have a choice: the Lee double, the Corey Patterson home run,
or the bad hop by that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that guy is not the play.
He's trying to hide behind. Looks like Bob Brenly sitting there.
Now here's a play we're talking about. Not only that, springs to his feet, forgetting all about his hat, which stayed out there on that warning track.
Someone got it back to him.
Pulled to the right side by the pinch hitter Jose Macias. And on to 3rd base goes Walker, 2 away in the inning. How is that not the singular play of the game?
Well, we'll see.
But you can't vote on that one. I thought it was either the Lee double or the Patterson home run.
They had 3 of them.
Okay, I looked over a little late.
It was the flip play.
Okay, so I beg your pardon. Well, here comes Corey Patterson, one of your choices. Back in his 6th inning with a man aboard.
Fans here in San Francisco don't like it when they see opposing players hit the splashdown home runs.
Nope. Runner at 3rd with 2 men out, and Patterson waits. Cubs leading 6-4 here in the 8th inning, and a first pitch fastball from Herges in there, a strike. Oh, and 1 to Patterson. And it's in there, strike 2. You know, some of the Giants fans have gotten a little down on Herges. I mean, they asked him to do something this year that he has never done before. I mean, it's like asking a guy to go out and hit 25 home runs. It's not his MO. Maybe he tries to hit 20 and strikes out 150 times, and then you're wearing him out. Herges is a very dependable guy and always has been in the 6th, 7th, 8th inning. and had good moments as a closer. He's had some bad moments too, but a lot more good than bad.
He did have the 23 saves on the season, but people will talk about getting 3 outs in the 7th inning is a little different than getting 3 outs in the 9th inning. I've always said I think you do have to have a guy that you can count on in the closer's role, but the save stat itself is the most overrated stat in all of baseball as far as I'm concerned.
One and two the count on Patterson. The Cubs coming in with a 1-game lead in the National League wild card race over the San Diego Padres, who will play at Petco Park later on tonight against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Got a strong outing from Jake Peavy in a 13-win last night. Swing and a miss by Patterson. That'll end the inning. So here come the Giants. Bottom of the 8th inning. Pierzynski, Grissom, Cruz down 2.
How many inches is it to rock bottom when men change their oil not with the wrench but with the credit card? That dipstick also plumbs the level of one's manhood. Bless you, brother. For another 3,000 miles, you've topped off your commitment to the high life.
Cingular's having a huge back-to-school sale on camera phones. We're all getting Motorola's with Bluetooth technology.
The Samsung with Zoom.
Wait, I thought we agreed on the LG. It downloads games.
It's a Zoom.
You know what, guys? We don't always have to do everything alike.
Celebrate back to school with up to $150 off a super wide selection of the coolest new camera phones available.
We call it our Now You Can Tell Us Apart plan.
Great savings on camera phones. Another reason Cingular fits you best.
Wouldn't it be great if you could pay off all those high-interest credit cards and get extra cash for you? Call AmeriQuest now. We help homeowners do just that by refinancing their mortgage. You'll get your own personal loan specialist who knows you're more than your credit score. Call 1-800-AmeriQuest now or go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more.
All my life, I've been waiting for the chance. Chance to prove myself. The chance to show my heart. And there's no way that I'm gonna blow it.
From the producers of Fear Factor and Oscar de la Hoya comes reality's hardest-hitting new series.
This is the biggest fight of their life.
12 will compete, but only one will become the next great champ. Coming Fox Fall.
Major League Baseball on Fox is brought to you by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life by the makers of Tinactin. Tackle athlete's foot with tough actin Tinactin. By Cingular, the wireless company that fits you best. And by Goodyear Assurance, featuring triple tread technology. Giants bat here in the home half of the 8th inning, trailing the Cubs 6-4. Greg Maddux left after 5 innings. He allowed 7 hits and 4 earned runs. We don't know if Maddux left because of injury or not, but he is in line to still get his 300th career win if the bullpen can get the final 6 outs. And now the 4th reliever to follow Maddux, flame-throwing Kyle Farnsworth. We're being told now that we've gotten word from the Cubs clubhouse that there is nothing wrong with Greg Maddux.
That surprises me a little bit, saying that he maybe ran out of juice. It was a hot day today. Going through 81 pitches. He was struggling with his control a little bit, and he left with 2 guys on. You don't see Maddux leave games like that very often.
2-1 the count on A.J. Pierzynski. Kerry Wood coming off a sensational start in Colorado, along with Mark Pryor, as they get healthier and healthier as this season moves on. But the story today, the veteran of that staff, Greg Maddux. If the bullpen can close it out, Maddux becomes the 22nd pitcher in Major League history to get to 300 wins. And he would be the first in the National League since Steve Carlton did it back in September the 23rd, 1983. So 21 years have gone by since a National League pitcher got his 300th win. No damage down there that time.
The ball dude made the play that time. I think he's got it all figured out. Wait till the ball stops rolling and then go pick it up.
And hit on the leg is Pierzynski. Who better to ask than Dave Righetti about the great career of Greg Maddux? We had a chance to do that earlier today.
It's a ball game, but to maintain it all through the pressure of whatever situation comes up, because the only way to win is to walk off the field with your team ahead somehow. And this guy is not only a competitor, but he's smart. And on top of that, he's got a lot of guts. And you mix them all together and you end up with Greg Maddux.
Competitiveness, the ability to pitch. And that's what he does. I mean, to me, you talk about the true definition of a pitcher, and that's what Maddux is. There you go. There's a nice uniform right there.
Steve, I thought you made a great point earlier, though, and it's something you and I have been talking about for a number of years now. But I mean, Maddux is, and along with Roger Clemens, guys who win and win and win consistently forever outside of having good health. When they go out there with less than their best, and you heard Dave Righetti say it, you find somehow, some way to walk off the field with your team ahead and get the win. Because most pitchers will tell you that over a season, maybe 33, 34, stretch maybe to 35 starts, especially now with 5-man rotations, that maybe on a handful of those starts are you going to have your best stuff. It's what you're able to do with all those other starts that separates the big winners from the middle of the road pitchers.
And I think that, to me, the two most important things as to why I don't think we'll see any more 300-game winners, with maybe the exception of Tom Glavine, is two factors: money and 5-man rotations.
Base hit center field, so the Giants trying to get back in it against Kyle Farnsworth. Something we talked about a little while ago with Farnsworth. They just feel like they can't count on him yet. And now he's in trouble with 2 on and nobody out.
He can throw the ball through the wall, but any major league hitter can hit that fastball right there when it comes right down the middle. And Grissom isn't missing too many fastballs right out over the plate.
AJ still feeling it after getting drilled by Farnsworth. You get hit by Farnsworth, you might feel it on September the 7th, not on August 7th. AJ going to leave. Yorvit Torrealba, the backup to Pierzynski, will come on and run for him and stay in the game of catch. And now the Cub bullpen springs to life. Glendon Rush. Boy, what a job he's done for the Cubs this season. As a starter, now as a reliever. They picked him up off the scrap heap.
Once again, now you have to wonder what situation the Dodgers or the Giants are going to put you in right now, whether Deivi Cruz is up there to drop a bunt down. You're down by 2 runs in this ball game. We've seen many squandered opportunities in this ball game from both teams that they've had guys in scoring position and not moved them over.
He does bunt and will move him over. Farnsworth plants, throws, got it. Good job by Cruz. So on to third goes Torrealba, and the tying run is Grissom into scoring position.
Check out how the defense worked here. Farnsworth gets off the mound like a cat. Great athlete. Almost stumbles here and then plants, throws a strike to first base. That's a difficult play to make. Deivi Cruz puts that ball in perfect position.
Remember a play like that during the LCS last year where he slipped and fell and made a poor throw in a game against the Marlins. Now Neifi Perez to bat. And first pitch swinging, pops it up. Second baseman Walker Able to get it. Huge out for Farnsworth and the Cubs. And the crowd booing as Perez chased a pitch out of the strike zone. Jim Belushi down here in front of his Holden court, standing up in front of all the Giant fans, turning around and holding up a finger. One more. Now he's sitting down. That's a brave man.
I was going to say, one of these Giants fans might take a shot at knocking that grin right off his face.
Now Ray Durham tying run at second. Ball one sails away.
Common theme in this ball game today is the fact that guys have not gotten runners over and gotten them in as consistently as they should have in today's ball game on both sides. But the one thing the Giants have done in the past better than a lot of clubs, especially in the National League West, is come up with the huge hits when they need them.
Breaking ball in there, a strike to Durham. 1 of 4 in the game. He tripled in the first inning to right center field off Maddux and scored the first run of the afternoon. Torrealba at third. Grissom the tying run at second. 2 away here in the Giant 8th inning. Farnsworth the pause and the pitch. Slider down and in. Good pick up there by Bako.
It's a great job, and nobody cares about it except for the backup catcher on a team. Look at the nasty break on that slider. Bako getting over there, trying to make sure he stayed in front of it, because if you don't stay in front of that ball, it means a run scored.
And a strike to Durham.
This is where I think Farnsworth gets himself out of sync. He's a guy that throws 97, 98, 100 miles an hour, and at times he can fall in love with the breaking ball. He threw a couple breaking balls there, then gets out of sync with his fastball, lets that one ride up and away. Now you're in trouble. You have to throw a fastball to a guy that can put a good swing on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and that's Durham.
Walked Durham again on the breaking ball.
Wow. And I think here comes Larry Rothschild, and I think that's exactly what he's going to tell Farnsworth right here and say, hey, you've got a great fastball. Use it.
Regional coverage continues next Saturday. Some great matchups, including division leading St. Louis and Atlanta. The Giants will be in Philadelphia, while the Yankees and Seattle, along with the Cubs and the Dodgers from Wrigley Field. So now they're loaded for Dustan Mohr. He had a pinch hit double in the 7th inning. First pitch, breaking ball, strike 1 to Mohr.
There's the breaking ball again from Farnsworth. If you're a pitcher, it's not like you can just sit there and live on one pitch. But he throws out a lot.
Came with another breaking ball and a bouncer to Garciaparra for the first play to end the inning. But Giants leave them loaded. They've stranded 10. Sammy and the Cubs coming up in the 9th, leading by 2.
That's not tough enough to stop athlete's foot. Hit that with boom. Tough actin' Tinactin. Tinactin's the only one proven to prevent athlete's foot. Lamisil can't say that. Get boom! Tough acting to acting.
Is it true that you guys do more brake jobs than anyone else?
Yes.
And they're guaranteed for as long as I own my car?
Yes.
Come to Midas for great value and service every day. Lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 installed. Guaranteed for as long as you own your car.
Trust the Midas touch.
There's a power so awesome, so irresistible, you'll do anything to get your hands on it. Introducing Gillette M3 Power. Turn on the first micro power shaving system from Gillette and turn on the amazing new Power Glide blades. Micro pulses raise the hair so you shave closer in one power stroke. Feel the power of the world's best shave. New M3 Power, a Mach 3 innovation from Gillette. The best a man can get.
The conditions at today's venue are perfect. Not too hot, not too cold.
Henry scores some points early with the hand wash.
Good move avoiding the pants there. No surprises in this routine.
Wait a minute. Booyah! What a finish! This moment deserves a Pepsi Edge.
Reward yourself with new Pepsi Edge. It has full-on flavor, but 50% less sugar and carbs. So feel free to celebrate any little achievement.
Years of conditioning really paid off there.
Assurance in rain means Goodyear's deeply carved aqua chutes propel water away from your tread. Assurance on ice means Goodyear's interlocking treads deliver gripping power. Assurance on dry pavement means Goodyear's reinforced shoulders give you confident maneuvering. The revolutionary new Goodyear Assurance with triple tread technology for assurance in any weather on the wings of Goodyear.
Relive the greatest moments in history.
Eat my pantaloons.
When the Simpsons bring you a blast from the past.
I'm going to canonize you.
I can see my house.
The Simpsons at 8/7 Central, Fox Sunday.
Top of the ninth inning, the Cubs leading 6-4. 3 outs away from Greg Maddux getting his 300th career win. Brett Tomko coming on to pitch out of the bullpen. And a base hit into right field by Nomar Garciaparra, his 3rd hit today. And again, it comes on the first pitch. Tomko this season is pitched exclusively as a member of the Giants rotation. See the numbers. His last outing out of the bullpen came June 14th of last season with the Cardinals against the New York Yankees during interleague play. Moises Alou is 0 for 4.
LaTroy Hawkins down in the bullpen, getting ready to close things out.
Greg Maddux today made his 594th career start, his 231st as a Chicago Cub. One and one to Alou. Tomko again will throw over to first. Garciaparra got his 2nd stolen base since joining the Cubs. Back in the 3rd inning. Breaking ball down and away. 2-1 on Alou. That's the same pitch it. Tyler Walker struck out Alou back in the 6th inning.
He pitched Sammy Sosa and Moises Alou very similarly, up and in to show him the pitch and then get him out away.
Grounded foul again on that breaking ball down and away from him. 2-2 on Moises Alou.
I think it speaks to the fact of Greg Maddux and the way he pitches. He's lived on movement and location. and how hard it is for pitchers to throw the ball where they want all the time. You're talking about two very, very good hitters in Alou and Sosa, but everyone knows the basic formula of how to try to get him out.
And there's a formula for every batter in baseball.
Sure.
But there's a reason why guys get hit and pitchers don't have ERAs at 0.00. They'll make mistakes executing the game plan. Hit hard down the left field line, but foul. Atlanta has won again, 6-2 final, beating Arizona for a second consecutive night. Braves now 62-47. And they've picked up a half game on second place Philadelphia. Now 5 behind the Braves in the National League East. 2-2. In the air, well hit, deep left field, and Bonds will watch it fly.
Tommy, almost every time we do a game with the Cubs, Moises Alou hits a home run. Look at a hanging slider right in the middle of the plate. Watch the picture-perfect swing from Moises Alou with the balance. Watch the spin of the ball. That's just saying, hit me all over it. You don't get it to the location. And as we've talked all day, even with Moises being 0 for 4 coming into that at-bat, he is the most dangerous hitter on the inner half of the plate that the Cubs have right now.
This giant bullpen. Matt Herges gave him 2 outstanding innings today, allowing only 1 hit, striking out 3. But you heard a lot of the crowd here at SBC Park booing. Yes, some Cub fans were chanting Alou, which made it sound like more boos. But if the Giants are going to seriously contend in this wild card over the final 2 months of the season, I know all their fans don't need me to tell them. That bullpen had better regroup and regroup in a hurry.
Feel bad for Felipe Alou. He doesn't have a whole lot of options. Said the other day that if it wasn't for Jason Schmidt, every guy in my bullpen would be in the hospital. Schmidt goes out there and gives you complete games, goes deep into the ball games, but the rest of his starters do not.
And that's where the genesis of it all is.
Yes.
I mean, you know, talk about the bullpen and how bad this guy is or how much this guy's struggling or whatever the case may be. When you got to patch together 12 outs just about every night unless Schmidt's going to get out of your bullpen, that is tough duty. And now with Jerome Williams out for quite some time, maybe the rest of the year, they're leaning on 2 rookies in their rotation. You saw Hennessey today along with Noah Lowry. To go with Kirk Reeder, Jason Schmidt, as there's ball 4 to Sammy Sosa. Time for our Tenactin great feat of the game. Greg Maddux took the mound today, his second try and win number 300. He had to leave the game after 5 innings, allowing 7 hits and 4 runs. Struggled early, but really settled in nicely the rest of the way before having to leave this one. And now his team has a 4-run lead with 3 outs to go to hand him number 300. Tomko has come on, not yet recorded an out. Gave up a single to Garciaparra, a 2-run home run to Alou. Sosa follows with a walk. And now Aramis Ramirez, 2 of 4 in the game, a double, a single, a run batted in, 2 scored. Cub team, meanwhile, looking ahead of the final 2 months of the season, as healthy as they have been all year long. A starting rotation intact for the first time all year long. Now that Wood is healthy again, Pryor has come back, arguably coming off his best outing of the season in Denver earlier in the week, to go with Matt Clement, Greg Maddux, and their most consistent starter all year long, Carlos Zambrano.
It's not a starting rotation if you're an opposing club coming into Chicago to play, or even then when they come to see you, that you're real happy about facing those guys.
There's a lot of pressure on every manager. There's a lot of pressure on every team to win. But many of you aware, certainly those watching back in the state of Illinois, the expectation so high for this Cub team this season, and it's been a rather testy bunch. I mean, there have been stories in the paper where Moises Alou went back and forth with a couple of the team's broadcasters, specifically Steve Stone. There was word that some of the players didn't want the Cub broadcasters traveling on the team charter. That's been in the newspaper. There was a poll taken about that very issue. Should the Cub players worry about that or just worrying about playing? And 92% of them said they ought to be worrying about playing and winning games. That the broadcasters had nothing to do with the team going from 1 back to 14 back. So there is a lot of pressure being felt down in that Cub clubhouse. I mean, it's the first time in a long time this team has been picked not just to win or maybe get in the playoffs. This team picked by many when the season began to win the whole thing, something an organization has not done since 1908. Now they've done everything they can to try and quiet and dispel all of those stories that are kind of leaking here and leaking there. But when you look at their team now getting healthy again, it's just when it's on the ground is short. They may turn 2. They will turn 2. Bases white, clean, 2 away in the inning. Steve, we brought it up earlier. They think they felt pressure now. How about the final 2 months of this season with a favorable schedule? And I think it's safe to say the best team among all the wild card contenders. Cubs have not won a World Series in 95 years. Their brethren on the south side of town in 86. And these Giants, you got to go all the way back to when they played in New York for their last World Series title.
There's no question that this is the first time in a long time that this organization is expected to win. Like you said, I mean, there were times where the Cubs organization, if they were just competitive and they had a sunny day, they would fill the stadium and everyone would be happy, and it didn't matter if the Cubs won or lost. Those days are gone. Jim Hendry and the executive management of this ball club has changed the thinking, and it's a good thing. But the thing that comes with that responsibility is the fact that you are expected to win, and then you have to go throw numbers up there. Makes it a little more difficult on everybody if you don't.
And I tell you, the Tribune company, the parent company, of course, of the Cubs, has taken a lot of heat through the years about wanting to win. There's a diving play made in right field by Dustan Mohr to end the inning. Moises Alou stretches the lead to 4 as we go to the bottom of the ninth.
Fox Monday on a special encore of trading spouses. 2 new moms have traded families.
If I was to give advice to the surrogate mom, be afraid.
And the fun is just beginning.
What is your problem?
Then Tuesday, they're taking control.
This is off limits.
And the switch hits the fan.
I don't like her either. I felt so unwelcome.
The smash hit Trading Spouses. Meet your new mommy. An encore Monday and an all-new episode Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Fox Saturday Baseball.
The retooled Dodgers are powering towards their first postseason in 8 years, while Chicago has pinned their hopes on Nomar to break the Cubs' curse. Fox Saturday Baseball next week. Check local listings.
Giants come to bat here in the bottom half of the 9th inning, trailing the Cubs 8-4, and of course the story now. Will Greg Maddux get number 300? First things first, our singular player of the game, as voted by you at home. And what is it? None other than the one we suspected it would be, the bouncing ball and the bouncing fan. Thankfully, he's all right. Good going out there. That was indeed our singular wireless play of the game. A whopping 59% say the fan flip will win. And he agrees. He's still explaining about it. Not a safe situation now with a 4-run lead. But LaTroy Hawkins is the Cubs closer. Hawkins having an excellent year. He's nailed down 17 of them. And a 2.86 ERA. Greg Maddux undoubtedly watching from down in the Cub clubhouse, leaving today after 5 innings. There's strike 1 to JT Snow. Maddux started the 6th inning, allowed an infield hit to Edgardo Alfonzo, then a little flare by A.J. Pierzynski, and that was it. Dusty Baker came out and got him. He showed you Greg Maddux talking to one of the Cubs trainers after he batted in the top of that 5th inning, put down a sacrifice. But the word from the Cub clubhouse is no problem. Maddux just tired. Oh, and 2 the count on JT Snow. And Hawkins pauses and delivers. Pulled down the right field line. Foul. Greg Maddux has beaten 201 pitchers in his career. And with Brad Hennessey making his major league debut here today, it would be his 202nd. Technically, it's listed that Greg Maddux made his major league debut on September the 2nd, 1986, in the Cubs-Astros game at Wrigley Field. But he actually made his debut the following day. There's a swing and a miss. The following day was a completion of the previous day's suspended game. They suspended that game in the bottom of the 14th inning with a score tied at 4. That is pre-lights at Wrigley Field. Maddux entered the game in the bottom of the 17th inning as a pinch runner for Jody Davis. He remained in the game, worked 1 inning of relief. And we told you he got his first win on September the 7th, 86, in a complete game 11-3 victory in Cincinnati. Barry Bonds looks at strike 1. Maddux will be the first guy to tell you that all that matters to him is the team winning. Look no further than his last start, his first try at 300 wins. When he left in a tie game, could have stayed in the game. The team wound up getting runs in the bottom of the inning. Had he stayed in the top of the 7th, he would have won the game. But he felt he was gassed, and when asked about it, he said, "It's not doing my team any good." And we're in a pennant race right now trying to get in the playoffs. One to Bonds. Pulled foul. Barry 0 for 2 today. Had a sac fly RBI in the 1st inning. He walked in the 3rd. One and 2 to Bonds with 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Cubs with an 8-4 lead. And it swung on, hit down the left field line. They're overplaying so much that Alou will not get there. Well, you look at the company that Greg Maddux is going to join. Cy Young, a record that will never be broken, 511 wins, and you start filtering down for the all-time list in most wins. Great Warren Spahn with 363. There are many out there that believe that Maddux in many ways pitches a lot like Spahn. That pitch down, and it's 1-2, goes to 2-2 now on Bonds. The great Steve Carlton at 329, Nolan Ryan, Don Sutton. Sutton got his 300th win on his second try, like Maddux is in line for here today. It took Roger Clemens his fourth try. Tom terrific. Tom Seaver 311. And now Greg Maddux trying to become the 22nd pitcher in the history of the game to win 300. Amazing. Pulled foul. Steve Lyons has made his way down to the Cub clubhouse. Hopefully we'll have a chance to hear from Greg Maddux after the ball game. We'll let you know. Two and two to Bonds. LaTroy Hawkins a pause, and the pitch popped up. Bako will come over near the stands, and he runs out of room. Not only has Maddux had the 16 years of winning 15 or more games, an all-time record. 17 years now he's won 10 or more. He's only a year away from breaking or tying the all-time record in that category held by Cy Young. Two to Bonds. Pulled fair down the right field line into the corner. And the ball touched by a fan, so Bonds will be awarded second base with a ground rule double. Told you Maddux would be the first National League pitcher to get 300 wins since the great Steve Carlton with the Phillies. Got his 300 September the 23rd, 83. The Phillies in St. Louis. Lefty. Number 2 strikeout pitcher in the history of baseball, Steve Carlton. Before being passed this year by Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson will pass both of them before his career is over. Maddux never known as a power guy, but he has a pile of strikeouts in his career as well. Bonds at second, one away here in the Giant ninth inning, trailing the Cubs 8-4. 8 runs, 12 hits for the Giants. Or for the Cubs, I beg your pardon. 4 runs, 11 hits, and 10 men left on base for the Giants. Ball one low and away to Edgardo Alfonzo. 3 of 4 today. He's doubled, singled, knocked in a run, singled again, and has scored twice. Told you Maddux never thought of as a dominant kind of pitcher, but he ranks 13th on the all-time strikeout list. He's closing in on 2,900. There's a fly ball to right, caught by Sosa, and now the Giants are down to their final out, and we are 1 out away from Greg Maddux getting his 300th win. And many in the stands are sensing that now, even those perhaps that root for the Giants. To the same extent that you'll see in ballparks where a visiting pitcher is working on a no-hitter late in the game, or earlier this season in Atlanta when Randy Johnson was twirling a perfect game. But for the Cub faithful, they know that Maddux, who went 5 innings today, is an out away from win number 300. Yorvit Torrealba looks at ball one away. Well, you think about how many games through Maddux's career where he's pitched 7, 8, 9 innings, maybe given up 2, 3 runs, 1 run, and gotten beat. It only figures that sooner or later you're going to get wins like today. Baseball players will tease a guy like Maddux, saying he got a vulture of a win here today, and he'll laugh about it, and he'll be the first one to say, you're right. 5 innings, that's not been his MO. But for a guy who has pitched remarkably as he has in his major league career, you deserve to get some of these as well. One to Torrealba. Fastball high from LaTroy Hawkins. Greg Maddux today threw 82 pitches officially, 52 of them for strikes. He allowed a run on 2 hits in the first inning. He gave up 2 runs and 3 hits in the third, then went on a run through the 4th and 5th innings where he retired 7 in a row before allowing the back-to-back hits and eventually a run in the 6th inning. Fouled back out of play. No sign of Maddux down in that Cub dugout. Maddux has not only been one of the great pitchers of all time, he's been one of the great teammates of all time, and every guy that has ever played for him or against him rooting for him now to get number 300. 2-2 pitch. Fouled away. If there has ever been a more unassuming star in the history of baseball, it's hard to think of one more so than Greg Maddux. I mean, he is as laid back, as down to earth, as approachable a guy as anyone who's ever put on a major league uniform. And that's why I say anybody who's ever played with him, or even those that have competed against him, are going to be mighty happy for him in a moment. 2-2 the count on Torrealba. And there it is. LaTroy Hawkins puts the finishing touch to give Greg Maddux his 300th career win, the 22nd pitcher in the history of baseball to collect 300 wins in a career. Congratulations, Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux, originally drafted by the Chicago Cubs, left after winning a Cy Young Award to go to Atlanta. Signed a contract to return to Chicago during the offseason. Gets his 11th win of the season, and more importantly, the 300th of his major league career. Steve Lyons is standing by downstairs. Again, we're hoping to hear from Maddux.
Congratulations to Greg Maddux,
on this historic day. Dusty Baker able to walk off the field tonight after getting a win evening this series at a game apiece, and the Cubs will maintain their lead in the National League wildcard race. They began 1 game better than San Diego, and the Padres will play later tonight in San Diego against the Pirates. While we have a moment, let's check in from Los Angeles with Jeannie Zelasco.
Greg Maddux, win number 300.
Well, here's what he does best. That 2-seamer down and away to left. He's right off the end of the bat to J.T. Snow in the 5th inning, which would be his final inning of today's ball game. But that would be enough. He gets that out, then out about to match up to Barry Bonds, trying to go to the same location. Misses a little bit, but at least he missed down in the zone. Barry a little bit off balance right there, getting out in front of that one. Not enough to go out of the ballpark today. And Greg Maddux, Jeannie, goes on for number 300. This guy has been unbelievable over the years.
And knowing what a gamer he is, this may not be the shining moment for him. It'll take him a few years to look back at this and think highly of it.
Well, 82 pitches, 52 for strikes. Larry Rothschild goes out there in the 6th inning. A couple guys on. Greg said, hey, I'm done. I've had enough. Let the bullpen do it. I'm not helping the ball club.
Much as he did in his previous start.